Good evening, Commander Priest. This is Helen with Mission Control. All systems are go for tonight's mission. If everything goes according to plan, you'll be back at the space station within 8 hours. Please be safe out there, Commander.
During the space flight late night, Todd laughed in the pod craft as we engage heights. All systems are go. Bird head to PlayStation. Eye on you. Come in, squawk and crow. The ball owls are looking good. Look out for further commands. Wingspan. The birds are now in dreamland. How's it out there, Captain? Tell me. Eerie. Kinda tired. I could use a coffee from the deli. That's a long way. RSJ. There's no asteroids, Commander. Clear. I'll reach back in 7 hours. Now I'm about to get some winter beer. Goodbye, ducks. His eyes shut. Shut all his gears. Put himself in auto steer through the spheres.
Godspeed, Commander.
Turbulence, rumbling, all systems go. Get up quick, crew grab control. Hold, levels up, the ship turns sideways. Gaze the nebula, it's beautiful. Alarms ringing, horn shouting, sprinklers go off. The god is rerouting, the crew shouting, trying to keep balance. A great explosion's the silence.
Mission Control to Priest. This is NASA. Can you hear me? Come in, Priest. We're losing your
I
signal.
can't tell if he's still or moving. Space woman of the crew screams. Our voice cups as we split up. I'm being pulled by this blue beam. Consciousness losing, but I got my camera on me. Suddenly I get a feeling so soothing. At the same time remembering to put my camera on 4D. It's foggy. In the planes I see something I couldn't explain. It's strange, it looks like an object from World War III. I put my camera to my face and try to adjust the lens. Just then I was ushered in by this warm gust of wind. Eerie light storms, alien life forms touched my skin. I felt quite calm, a part of me trusted them. I stopped struggling, it showed me a life without suffering. Worlds without wars, no threats, no clashing of swords. They gave me a pill with this liquid that began to heal chronic illness and sickness. Seven seal, the will within the will quickened. We went up and over, felt the rush, higher, lower. They started speaking, I understood in English. There stood this tiny alien next to an 8-footed phoenix, next to an ape with goat horns. They spoke on photons and protons, and how ancient life prolonged, how life existed with the Dogon. Showed me the difference between the blizzard and the snowstorm. Molten glass so strong, and molten iron pouring through Orion, raining on the planets. On my knees praying, start saying all commandments. They said start standing. We have the cure for all disease, hatred, and famine. Let us all take a seat. We're preparing for landing, repairing what's damaged. Body tissue, mental issues, depression, infections, affection, corrections, new directions, no addiction, prescriptions, more wisdom, and the vision. Save the children. We landed on the planet, looked abandoned, but beautiful, lots of canyons, trees with fruit for food, and good to eat. The day was cool. Another ship landed. They bring one of my crew, space woman out. It feels like deja vu on this planet that's new, and even from the Milky Way too. The alien said, "You are us, and we are you. We came from the dust, small as particles." My space woman running closer and closer. They said, "Let us give you one more jewel." They said man is intelligence, and this particular ship is made from one of your elements. We are known as the Yahwehs, the Ancient of Days, and this ship is made from clay. We have an experiment, we want y'all to stay. We felt it's not good for you to be alone, so we brought your space woman, flesh of your flesh, bone of your bone. There's also other beings here, from distant planets. They built kingdoms here, so you're not left stranded. Follow not their ways, the Yahweh's commanded. Cause you know what happened before, it'll do damage. Now, just give names to everything. As they stood before me, they transform into balls of flames. Want to be fruitful and multiply. As they got back in their ships, flew into the sky. At the same time, the space woman arrived. She asked Captain, what happened? I shipped the explosion that moment. Contact with no one. Back then, she said I was led up this golden path by this soft light. Then on a ship with a staff, winged beautiful beings. Said they was from the Nile Valley of kings and queens. The things around me got cloudy, their voices distorted. Something Elohim. It felt godly at the start. Then they named themselves after body parts. They said the galaxies was like the arteries, He was the heart. They said they were responsible for man's greatest art and the pyramids. And the ship I was in, they called man's rib. Then I passed out and we landed.
Commander, wake up. Someone is approaching the ship.
Wow, did you see that? We both turned back. It was a man with the mask of a cat. We both shocked. You speak English? I find it convenient. Most of us do, being from Venus. Let me ask you, did you meet the ape and the phoenix and the little genius? Did they sell you game and a meaning? Welcome to my place, it's called Eden. Y'all should feel safe. I'll be back to talk this evening. They'll be back probably beginning of the weekend. Y'all should know that. They visit frequent. I'm just an old cat, headed to my kingdom. 7,000 years passed since we saw the beings last. This not Earth, time moves fast. Planted trees, fertilize the grass. Cool of the day, check the windcast. Then in the air, something moved like it's clay spinning fast. The Yahwehs came, they called my name, then explained that we must not exchange knowledge with the other people, we are not the same. They were already here. Y'all came from the spheres with new ideas. They made themselves clear.
Carefully chosen priest, do not disappoint.
I told them about the man that we met. Wore a hat like a cat. They asked, come again, what was that? We said that was years ago. Where at? Near that tree where the 5 rivers flow. They stepped back as the doors open on a UFO. Any contact with this cat, you should let us know. We'll be back in 100 years to see how things go. In fact, to remember we were here will leave a rainbow. Alert as we ever been. I wrote my name in the dirt. Space woman did the same, she wrote Evelyn. I said Evelyn, I call you Ev. Then named myself one of the elements, then went to bed. Woke up in the morning and saw snakeskin shed. The cat came back, take off the cat mask. At last he will reveal himself, gorilla help. A shiny ass brick fruit in his hand. Ninja boots he stands, within the group to advance. I see you met the cat. The serpent said, we are all the beings in the zodiac. You are visitors, I have trivias. Taurus and the goat, Egyptian gods from far. For instance, from a distance, Horus scopes, Abraxas rooster crow. This wall fragment uses codes, those thoughts. On course, north, east, west, south. Past and present event reports. Acronym for newspaper, figured out. Another story for the winged people. Saga, the Naga, Nada, Kabbalah. Or the itsy-bitsy spider up the water spout. The mothership returned with a couple concerns. They landed about dusk to discuss what we learned. It was 3 of them and 3 of us. The snake said, I'm glad we meeting up. They face red as the evening shut. The snake asked, had you told them how the knowledge was lost? They said no. Well, I'm here for support. They wouldn't know good and evil unless it was taught. It's a diet. Try it. Here's a spoon for resource. Now stir it in courage with the tuning fork. The spoon and the fork, that's food for thought. She said that was good and gave some to me. I listened to this knowledge too, how bad could it be? This food for thought, now we both can see. I'm 6 foot, she's 5'3", we tall as trees. The alien said, Pa. Pa replied to Messa. Messa said they're like one of us gods. Then Tanya said they must leave our yard. The knowledge that you feed off, you now starve. At odds, we all learned their names. Winds blew, thunder, then it rained. They commanded, all 3 of us be banished. The snake and me and my companion. Raining blood in the place was the name as the same as the God that was blaming us. Messa and Pa and Tanya, in the gods we trust. Plus, this yard was named after us, Mesopotamia. Other gods named Ka, Ra, and Af came in their place after they left. We said their names, but replaced it. Af, Ra, Ka, ascending master. Neutrons, quarks, but atom was the mineral I named myself after. Allegory, subliminals is the original chapter. The scattered, it's the writer's with. In the land of kings between the Euphrates, too wavy, and the Tigris, the Woos KP.
Hey everyone, hello. So, what if the most important knowledge you could ever gain wasn't something you could read in a book, memorize in school, or download from the internet? What if true knowledge was something that you remembered? Well, today we're diving into gnosis, a word that has echoed through ancient mystery schools, early Christianity, modern neuroscience, and even today's tech culture. Gnosis isn't just knowledge, it's knowing in the deepest possible sense. The word gnosis comes from Greek, meaning knowledge, but not ordinary factual knowledge. This is not memorized data or secondhand belief or intellectual theory. Gnosis is direct, experiential knowledge. It's the difference between reading about fire and touching the flame and feeling the heat. In spiritual and philosophical traditions, gnosis refers to an intuitive inner realization of truth about reality, about existence, and ultimately about who you really are. In Gnosticism, an ancient spiritual movement that flourished in the first few centuries CE, gnosis was everything. Gnostics believed that the true divine source is infinite, eternal, and pure consciousness. The material world is flawed, dense, and deceptive. Human beings contain a divine spark, a fragment of that higher reality trapped in matter. This divine spark is not created by the material world, it comes from beyond it. To Gnostics, the physical world was often described as an illusion, a prison, a false reality. Not necessarily evil, but misleading. The senses distract, social systems enslave, and false identities keep the soul asleep. And the greatest danger? Forgetting who you truly are. Here's where Gnosticism radically departs from mainstream religion. Salvation does not come from blind faith, obedience, rituals alone, or external authority. Salvation comes through gnosis, through inner awakening, direct insight, and remembrance of one's true divine origin. When gnosis occurs, the soul realizes, I am not this body. I am not this role. I am not this world. I come from something greater. And with that realization comes liberation. Many Gnostic texts describe gnosis not as learning something new, but remembering something ancient, a sudden clarity, a shock of recognition, a feeling of, I've always known this. It's the moment that the veil lifts, the illusion breaks, and the soul begins its return to its source. Interestingly, the word gnosis also appears in modern neuroscience, but with a very different yet symbolic connected meaning. In neurology, gnosis refers to the brain's ability to recognize and interpret sensory information. And there are different types of neurological gnosis. There's visual gnosis, the ability to recognize objects, colors, shapes, and faces by sight. There's auditory gnosis, the ability to recognize sounds, voices, music, and environmental noise. And there's tactile gnosis, the ability to identify objects or textures through touch alone without seeing them. And then there's body schema, the brain's internal map of the body, knowing where your limbs are in space without looking. When these systems fail, conditions like agnosis occur, where perception exists but recognition does not. You may see an object but not know what it is. Sound familiar? Here's the striking parallel. In neurology, gnosis allows us to recognize reality. In spirituality, gnosis allows us to recognize truth. Without gnosis, the eyes see, but they do not understand. The mind thinks, but it does not awaken, and the soul exists, but it remains asleep. With gnosis, perception becomes meaning, experience becomes wisdom, and existence becomes purposeful. Today, gnosis has expanded beyond ancient texts. In modern spirituality, gnosis often refers to inner knowing, awakened awareness, and intuitive truth beyond logic. It's found in mysticism, esoteric traditions, meditation practices, psychedelic research, and non-dual philosophies. It's the realization that truth is lived, not believed. And the word gnosis has also been adopted by tech companies, genetic platforms, and financial and blockchain systems. Why? Well, because the word symbolizes deep insight, hidden knowledge, advanced intelligence, and access to underlying systems. Even in a technological age, we still crave gnosis. In a world overflowing with information, we suffer from a lack of understanding. We know more than ever, yet feel more disconnected. Gnosis reminds us that truth isn't always external, wisdom isn't always taught, and knowledge can be remembered. It asks the most dangerous question of all. What if you are more than what you are being told? Gnosis isn't about escaping the world, it's about seeing through it. It's the knowledge that doesn't sit in the mind but ignites the soul. And once it's known, it can never truly be forgotten. So yeah, that's today's video on gnosis. As always, I hope you found it entertaining, enlightening, or in some way beneficial. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with a friend or two. Alright everyone, take care. Peace.
Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand.
I can't explain the way these crown laws they come to me. Morning meditation, Psalm 91 and 23. Water in my money tree, manifest abundantly. On a mission, running free, everything they wanna be. In summary, there's been a shift within the earth sphere. So now people hear my messages and words clear. Still shining, the illest with the brilliant timing. The gold mine who had to go find the silver lining. Ain't nothing new underneath the sun. I be going through it too, you ain't the only one. Don't take none of this life personal, cause we all got some lessons that we working through. Ain't nothing new underneath the sun. I be going through it too, you ain't the only one. Don't take none of this life personal, it's just some lessons that we working through. So why you tripping, huh? Why you mad, son? Had some good days and some bad ones. Might win some, might lose some. That's just the way it goes, life 101. Why you tripping, huh? Why you mad, son? Had some good days and some bad ones. That's just the way it goes, life 101. Yeah, life gon' be life until your day is done. Never will you see a thief return a treasure stolen. No need to lock away your heart if it was never open. Truth heals the spirit and it's better spoken. Most never heal, they remain forever broken. I protect over my cells like a prison guard. True and living star, pay the price to get these wisdom bars. Listen hard, I was cut out of a different cloth. Turn your light up on these hoes and never switch it off. The queen's a winner, moving like a seasoned ninja. I'm even tempered, never beefing like a vegan dinner. I found peace within my inner, that's a sweet surrender. Don't relive your lessons twice like repeat offenders. They'd rather see me decompose like leaves in the winter. Want me to undermine my shine and decrease my shimmer. While they compete in the subliminal battles, I'm only fighting hidden parts of my invisible shadow. Cause I learned that people never want the bitter truth, just the sweetness. But you need both the light and dark to reach completeness. Goddamn, people throw rocks and hide their hands. Vindicate the wolves and they silence in the lambs. Fight to keep your soul purer than a sacred virgin. Even if you die in the rebirth into your latest version, your fate is determined by how you shake the weight of burdens. You gotta save yourself, become your own favorite person. Ain't nothing new underneath the sun. I be going through it too, you ain't the only one. Don't take none of this life personal, cause we all got some lessons that we working through. Ain't nothing new underneath the sun. I be going through it too, you ain't the only one. Don't take none of this life personal, it's just the lessons that we working through. So why you tripping, huh? Why you mad, son? Had some good days and some bad ones. You might win some, might lose some. That's just the way it goes, life 101. Why you tripping, huh? Why you mad, son? Had some good days and some bad ones. That's just the way it goes, life 101. Yeah, life gon' be life until your day is done.
One life, 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 one life,
Can't dim my light, can't take my life. My path is chosen. I sacrificed, I paid the price. I won't be broken. I am royalty. It's my destiny. You know my time is now. They can't take my crown.
Direct intel, ancestral symbology spread across the diaspora is coded in my honesty. Intuitive connection, strengthen tribes' camaraderie. Parallel universe, that's another side of me. Guided by dreams and wisdom, build my economy. In silent meditation, that's how spirit respond to me. Play a part, the plays in your natal chart. Not trusting your blueprint is where betrayal start. Ignoring warnings, pivotal insight. How you a descendant of Moabites, Hittites. Nothing rhetorical. I'm tapped in, my sister's an oracle. Future seen through the orbital. Through lessons informing you, honor my blood and features. Akashic reveal my deepest secrets. Creative crown lobes from the ethers. In real time I'm living it. Being tree on the mounds of Mount Gilead. Team spirit, magical affiliates.
The lost scriptures from the Hudson River. Stories of 40s, blunts and liquor. Written by shorties, bloods and killers. Hands to bars, identify mugs from mirrors. He's from Flatbush, cuz is fearless. He in the black book, drugs and realness. But in they cell block by themself on the cot. They time held by the clock, water pail in the mop. All sorted mail for the stock, in jail till they rot. Most of their elders was Griselda. Cocaine kingpins, gold chains gleaming, dope ringer, demons. Now we upload King Tut Gold, we need answers. We transfer crown loads, major priest to ground patrol. NASA case of Brax's face around poles. Lead by example, priest is the ample, no priest is the handle. As I light each of the candles, I feel brand new.
Can't take my life, can't take my life, my path is chosen. I sacrificed, I paid the price, I won't be broken. I am royalty, it's my destiny. You know my time is now. They can't take my crown.
Music chairs, Game of Thrones, souvenirs with angel bones. Have you connected to the source and made your brain a phone? Climb till I reached the highest plane and I made it home. Connect the whole universe at once, yet remain alone. Got my angels and my ancestors on a conference call, shooting Aztecs to the gods that said I dropped the ball. My first step, flagging the earth while I still watch them crawl. Immortalized the human anatomy at the Taj Mahal. I struck lightning when it hit me, I ain't shot the Lord. Your noggin, I just blew it, it's impossible, I knew it. We all AI, I guess Allah prompted me to do it. Who made mythic creatures into continents and drew the map? My Venus spoke to Gemini. Before it was a Google app. The mic levitates when I talk without holding it. By accident, I'm still on point without knowing it. And I ain't right to think of this verse, I ground loaded it.
We crown holders and ground soldiers, the finest diamonds. They doing manifestation, we do divine alignment. This ain't no occupation, it's a higher soul assignment. Sacred, irreplaceable information, rewind it. I don't relate to these fraud dudes and clown hoes. 520 hertz is the frequency that my sound holds. Every written down flow, feeling like I found gold. Channeling profound codes, turn them into crown loads. They try silencing the chosen ones, it never works. Lessons heavy like collections at the mega church. We manifest a heaven just to build a better earth. And when you hear that word crown loads, you know who said it first. Lyrically mystical, healing you, medicinal. And on this mic, these rappers saying nothing you should listen to. Life is cyclical, like the spin on an elliptical. This priest mix is fire, but run back the original.
Can't take my life, can't take my life, my path is chosen. I sacrificed, I paid the price, I won't be broken. I am royalty, it's my destiny. You know my time is now, they can't take my crown.
It's the rain, it's the rain. I'll spare the life. Born natives in the flesh with the hidden wings. I'm talking angles I connect, it's a different thing. We royal priesthood, we the wizard kings.
The most anticipated kiss the ring. Scream the name out for the breeze. Supreme, all meal, kiss the ring.
We the royal priesthood, we the wizard kings.
Smack and seize, while you scream your majesty.
She's not a raven, not a dove, and not a pelican. The immortalized phoenix, universal element. The throne holder with the flow that's most eloquent. Bringing the rebellion, the mothership propelling it. I'm nicer than they ever fathomed every time I'm doing this. My energy is like slicing an atom to its nucleus. Interstellar, surpassed astronomical. That's why my aura got a sparkle like a diamond do. Soaring through the sky, but I was born underground. Blood on the temple from the thorns in the crown. The seventh seal will open when the horn makes a sound. No time to mourn, you was born not to stick around. So start reflecting and atoning. I recollect the sectors I was known in, even long before the Greco-Roman. Time to bow and kiss the ring, you will respect the chosen. I won the battle before I select my next opponent. 6 million ways to die, they lied to the masses, but they never taught you how to rise up out the ashes. My intuition say we trapped inside a simulation, so I'm here to bring demolition to imitations. I dispelled the pressure when I held the scepter, the luminescent, iridescent solar cell receptor. I rebelled and I refused to sell the elder treasure. Time to unify, rebel against the hell forever. Every word in the verse, you know it is Phoenix. Give the people rebirth like I'm growing a fetus. Say the truth with my chest like showing my cleavage. The mothership kiss the ring, cause we the ring leaders.
Multitasking through the multiverse, immersed in the energy that broke the curse. In a thirst for higher works, dispersed out your speaker box like Peter Tosh. Days balance equal, vernal equinox. High voltage, frequent shocks, outward charged particles. Flares bring more color than carnivals. Editorials, rhymes, and written articles. Alkaline, my arsenal, I'm Canis Major. Others are marginal. Fez, brilliant red like a cardinal. Flourishing with other Moorish kings. Kiss the rings, mystic strings. Beyond intellect, holistic beings. Ecclesiastic, legendary like Atlantis. Reminded of divine protection, seeing the praying mantis. King Sharif on my throne, caliphate in the east. My influence increase from Greece to Mozambique. Crown jewel, laying new ground rules. Ilukare, my mind sparred in renowned schools. No parlay, gracious, build a oasis. Spacious, greatness, entire priesthood, traveling spaceships. Connect with lawmakers, Mahatmas, scholarly, those who know the truth about the Barbary. God's professor, private sector, peep the architecture. Tartarian, so on the microphone, a barbarian. Islam, Al Day and Bay. If we Voltron clans, we'll run circles round Satan like the Photon band.
Jack fell down, broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. The black and brown came from the ground to fill the sun of the magma. I rap profound as a lounge for kneel in front of your master. From merry-go-rounds to burial grounds, I killed every one of you rappers. With my skills, I can heal, but my tongue is disaster. The eighth seal is revealed in none of the chapters. Burn them on cheap wood. This is Royal Priesthood. There's cavities and casualties wherever we stood. When I black out, I see the bats route. I say things that make the cats crouch. Wings from my back sprout. Serpents coil. Anoint the head with virgin oil. Drip with olives. We sit in garments and spit astrology. Regardless, we goddess and goddesses. And thick as the dip with the garlic. But hard as the chip, that's smart, that's trick knowledge. Nah, we kick knowledge while eating salad in a big palace. The roof open and the sky show a rich harvest. The Bitterman man, the black who a thick target.
Hey, yo, musically, I'm married to the group, that's the wedding band. Cycle Jordan rings like Thanos with the heavy hand. The ringleader, the electric lamb. I'm staring at the rings like a breast exam. I'm peering up the next cycle at the drug ring, spirals in the dust ring. I made a campfire with the circle around the sun spring. I see rings in the flowers when the blossoms bloom. Like the onion rings out of supersonic boom. That's two holes in the middle of the VM. I seen rings in the middle of the tree limbs. Clothed in the gospel, the noble, apostle. I'm moving more circles than the O's in Morocco. My blow made the rocks glow. Killing sex traffickers, my flow freed the kids in the ring. From death massacre, priesthood, vampire hunters, arrest Dracula. Earth stage, I rock it, never left in the ground. But smoke till I'm so high up the heavens down. 12 angels quickly circle me wherever I'm bound. Morris headband leader, that's the heraldry crown. Like no sort of omens, bodies lammed on the floor. Purple rings of cerebellum, see who answers the door. As it quickly throws, they bang the snow rings like the sound of sleeping, playing ring toss with my chakras over mountain peaks. Now to the owl chief, ornaments around the reef, alkali, riding on the decibels around the streets. Brainstormers gather the star charters as every knee bends, kiss the rings of the Zod father. The Don Zada, in a sense, like the Nog Chomper, knowledge chomper, Kaharaja, squash him like a Kalabasa, Kali Lama, Dalai Lama lamp, Muhammad Ali Baba, uncontrolled votes. They all bowed down when we stood. Big flag, zigzag, Zodiac, Killah Priesthood. Killah Priesthood.
Scream the name out, Royal Priest. Leave the blood spilling in the street. King, supreme, all meal, kiss the ring. Scream the name out, Royal Priest. Leave the blood spilling in the street. King, supreme, all meal, kiss the ring.
Silent. Rain and thunder, the pain I'm under. Paranoid, I keep seeing the same numbers. Even on the train that's coming. Lights in the tunnel. I'm standing at the terminal of eternal jewels.
God is love. It's neither that you just did. The same thing that created the tree created me. The same element that created water created you. Same element that creates the wind and the rain created woman. God is everyone and everywhere.
I said it before, I'm a melody, a metaphor. I'm the L-O-V-E, comma, MC, comma, mentor, comma, Assalamu alaikum, breaking, Satan, embracing the day sun with night arms, quite calm. You see peace as we sleep, as you stare in the spheres, you hear light bombs. Distorted noise, distant thunder, a sense of joy and mystic wonders. Spring is escorted into fall's courthouses in the winter season to visit summers.
Moon and the stars, the fields full of grain, the soft summer breezes and the mountain rains, it all belongs to my Father.
Abba, But now it's Shabbat Shemayim, Orion, Holy Mount Zion, snowy owls flying. I watched them closely, then slowly they morphed into Kobe Bryant. Talking, what is he saying? Then behind him I saw thousands of musicians playing instruments, intimate actors and entertainment giants, masters of science. Get a path with their guidance. I'm in the craft when I'm writing. I am brass, I am diamonds. I wear a mask to keep them shining.
I believe in man. I believe in woman. I believe that we can change anything that's wrong. I believe that God gave every man and every woman the power to change, to cause effect, to treat people decently. We have the power to feed the hungry children or not to feed. We have the power to give and administer justice or non-justice. We have the power for everything.
I dissolve the Old and New Testament like it's a peppermint. These gospels open up my nostrils. The treatment's like a medicine. It secretes within my tonsils. Then I speak counsels to my apostles. Like it's heaven sent, like Jesus in the Nephilims. I'm in past and present tense. To unmask the devil Schmidt, to the upper class of presidents. Whether testosterone or estrogen.
Wait a minute, the colossal bones left evidence. Paintings of these ancient astronauts on these stones or copper tones. Silo, let's make an instrument. Chisel, now place the rocks on his phone. Then put it in this box that's unknown. The sun is hot, ozone, layer, prayer, watch. Time stops the invention of hip-hop. This is a microphone. The scenery is like a twilight zone. That's how I write poems. As I hone in my third eye cones. Then combs through ancient black civilizations and highlight thrones. Blood type Israelite to the real Christ is shown.
Do you believe in God? That is God to me. God is trees, air, women, men, children. We are made in his image. So my philosophy is if we're in his image, we must really be close to him. So man and woman must be a part of him. That is God.
Work, he provided a supposed scientific justification for a very particular kind of racism. So he introduced what we call today like scientific racism. So in his book, In the Descent of Man, he wrote, at some future period, the civilized races of man will almost certainly exterminate and replace the savage races. The break between man and his nearest allies will then be wider. The Caucasian and some ape as low as a baboon, instead of as now between the Negro or Australian Aborigine and the gorilla. Pretty horrible stuff that he wrote, right? It led to all kinds of horrible atrocities that took place, where certain people groups who were believed to be less evolved were labeled as missing links or our primitive human ancestors that were put in zoos so people could go and look at them and see this missing link, this human ancestor. All kinds of horrible things took place as this idea started to catch on and people started to do research in order to, quote unquote, prove these ideas.
Peace and blessings to the family. It's your brother Knowledge Born Elijah. Wednesdays, Woo Wednesday, Royal Priesthood Wednesdays. We here in the building. Had a beautiful intermission, okay? But now we about to get into position. So it becomes an honor and privilege at this time to introduce the service of the others. And welcome back to the Podcraft and to Royal Priesthood Wednesdays. The phenomenal researcher, the data analyst, the truth teller, and the truth seeker. The one only our sister of the new school of thought is here in the building. It's about to get hot. Queen Naphtali is here with us.
Hey, Most High Bless. Can you hear me now, Warren?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you better. You were sounding really low.
Oh, no.
You sound better now. No,
Talking
you
about
sound
me in
good
the chat.
now.
Glad you're here. Glad you are in the building.
All right. Thanks for inviting me on. I'd like to say Most High Bless to everybody. Sorry about the delay. Had some computer things going on, but everything's all right now. We good to go. You can hear me good?
Yeah, you perfect.
All right. Okay, there we go.
So I played a little snip from a video I saw. I don't know if you heard it when you came on, but there's some things out on the street, and I have 2 other videos, but I want to go on the flow with you. How you want to go with this?
Hey, Most High Bless David Javon. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in with us tonight.
So how you been though? Before we get into the get into how you been? Okay, the folks been like, yeah, where Naphtali at, son? We don't want to see you, son. Where Naphtali at?
I've been great. I've been doing good, guys. It's been amazing. Just doing some research, studying, taking care of business and the family. But other than that, I've been good. How about yourself?
I've been good out here in the sun. Okay, I am glad for the sun. After all that snow, people be like, yo, it's hot out here, son. 3 seconds ago, it was snow everywhere. It was blizzards. People, you know what I'm saying? And then the sun come out. Now y'all want to be fronting on the sun. I'm like, all right.
It's always, but it seems like it's always an extreme. It's like either it's too much snow or is it too hot? It's like, where is the calm? Where is the cool? I like a 70, 80 degrees. I don't feel like being out in the 90s. And then I don't want to be out in this. It gets really cold here in St. Louis. So freezing, below freezing.
I appreciate the sun when the sun come out. Okay, look, the rain, tornadoes, typhoons, hurricanes, all that. You understand what I'm saying? I could deal without all of that. You understand what I'm saying? Except the rain for the plants. You know what I'm saying? The rain for the plants.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, you got an event, the event of all events coming up this weekend. So I want to make sure we get a chance to plug the events. Okay.
Yes, family. I got a debate with the Ronald Dalton about who are the Canaanites. If you guys know me, if you guys are familiar with me, you know that I teach on the Canaanites. That's one of the things that I really strongly push, because to know who the Canaanites are is just as important to know who the Israelites are. And knowing who that, since we are the children of Israel, we need to know who the Canaanites are. And that's what we're going to be debating on Saturday. So me and Ron Dalton will be debating on a brother by the name of something with Nice with Denano's channel. Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Time. Come on out, guys. It's going to be fun. It's going to be real. I'm gonna be bringing out all this. I'm coming. Like I told you, like A-Ball and JG. I'm coming out hard. I'm not playing. I'm not holding back. It's going down. Okay. I'm coming out hard. All right, with the information, because I've been trying to push this information to my people, and I just really want it's always good to stand amongst your peers and to get your information, not only challenged, but also peer reviewed, Most I'd like to you, Mob Ties East. Yeah, so it's always good, you have to get your, peer review. So that way, how your information stands up and you feel more assured, you feel more secured in the information that you're teaching, because nobody wants to get out here. So much information, so much false information. And you want to make sure that you're delivering true information, because, my motto is I'm all about my truth seekers, people who are actually looking for the truth. A lot of people like religion, but there's a lot of us that are really interested in knowing and learning the truth.
That's real. That's real. I'm gonna definitely be tuned in the building with my popcorn. You understand?
Saturday. This Saturday, 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on and check your girl out. She will be debating Queen Naphtali versus Ronald Dalton of Hebrews to Negroes. Who are the Canaanites? Are they the African pygmies? Are they, hold on, the Caucasian, the Asians, and Caucasians and Lebanese, Caucasians and Asians and their descendants? Yes.
And I know you gave us a little bit over here too, about the Canaanites, right? Gave us a little tiny little smidgen over here.
I always do little tiny little things, but I never really have done like what I'm going to be presenting this weekend. Even on my channel, and guys, shout out to my channel. Go ahead and, if you haven't, subscribe to Naphtali's New School of Thought. But I have a 5-part series. But the thing is that what I realized is that in my 5-part series, I never really go into the meat and potatoes of it all, the importance, the covenant, all of that stuff matters, because people say, well, why does it matter? Everybody thinks about Genesis 9:25, about the curse of Canaan. But see, there's another covenant that was made, and we have to address that covenant, that second covenant that was made, or that the Most High made with his people, and how that took over what that curse that Canaan had upon them. Because there's another group of people that could be cursed too, and that's the Israelites. So I break all that down. I talk about the importance of the Canaanites, because the Most High used the Canaanites to do what? To test Israel's loyalty to him. So if the Most High used the people to test you by, don't you think it's important to know who those people are so that you know to stay clear from them, or to be prepared for what they bring to you? Like right now, we're going to be talking about evolution.
Yes.
Yes. So
I didn't know you did a movie over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know you did a whole movie. I'm telling you, when you be putting your mind into stuff, I be like, yo, it's dope. I'm telling you, it's dope. It's dopeness right here. You got a whole movie over here with the lightsaber, troop, and everything. It's not playing.
Oh, you talking about my intro?
Yeah.
Oh, that look, yeah, that. Oh, I love to have fun. I love to have guys check it out. The premiere trailer to the promotional trailer to the debate. I put in my part, and then Ron, he did one too with the boxing gloves to come at me, and I added that in, and then I just put it all together. Are you going to share it?
I can. You can, okay.
If you want to share the video, you don't have to share the whole thing. It's kind of long, but if you want to.
It look dope.
Naphtali versus Ron. Who are the biblical Canaanites? Find out July 18th.
The truth will be revealed.
Will be revealed. Let us find out.
Let us find out.
What's your prediction for the fight then?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
You're not showing it though. I can't see it.
While I'm in the dressing room, 5 minutes before I come out, my gloves are laced up. I'm breaking my gloves down.
We can't see it.
The blood from my knuckle could pierce to the level. I feel my knuckle piercing. It's the tight leather gloves on it. Everlast box. When I come out, I have supreme confidence.
What's your prediction for the fight then?
So people can see it.
Who are the biblical Canaanites?
There we go.
I will defend the truth. Naphtali versus Ron. Who are the biblical Canaanites? Find out July 18th.
The truth will be revealed.
Will be revealed. Let us find out.
Let us find out.
What's your prediction for the fight then?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
All right, that was a little bit, but guys, go on and check out my Instagram and my Facebook, Naphtali Israel.
Still put Mr. T in there. Okay, Club of Latin.
Yes. Yeah. Some classics. But yes, yes, guys, we're going to be going into evolution today. I got a presentation prepared for you guys. It's going to be, you ready to get into it? You ready to go?
Ready.
All right, let me get ready to share my screen. Let's get to it. Let me go ahead. See, they did another update. They always doing an update. StreamYard, boy, I tell you.
Right.
Goodness. The way they got stuff set up. All right.
Here we go.
Okay, you see my screen? All right. All right, guys, let's get into it. Make sure you guys can see everything. All right, looks good. All right, guys, so I'm your girl, Naphtali, and I like to always start off with there is a hidden history that has been obfuscated from us. All right, so we're going to be uncovering the obfuscated past. So I like to always give a big warm welcome to my truth seekers, my independent thinkers, and my independent researchers. I always love to call myself an independent researcher, even though the Bible is, of course, my foundation. I always like to independently review information to make sure that it stands up to the test of time, as well as to the biblical scriptures. All right, so let's talk about evolution, the religion of America. Yes, I said it. Evolution is the religion of America. Why do I say that? You say, no, Christianity is the religion of America. No, Christianity, the Bible is not the religion of America, because if the Bible truly was or is the religion of America, it would be mandatory. Why would you put something in your schools that is mandatory for all the children, for everyone to learn? See, the Bible is something that is, it's optional. If you want to learn about the Bible, and then the so-called Catholic Church is in cahoots with evolution, we'll talk about that another time. But the Bible is something that's optional. But what's not optional is evolution. That is mandatory. You're going to learn about it. If you go to our public schools, they put that out there for you to learn. If you start biology, it's for when you first hear about millions and billions of years, you're already on the path to learning about their number one religion, which is evolution. And we're going to talk about why evolution is a religion. It's not scientific. See, the thing is that you don't have to, practice science or respect science or utilize science and have to believe in evolution. They're two completely separate things. And we're going to talk about that. Evolution requires belief, and it's not a fact. Science is fact. See, that's what they try to get you. They say, oh, well, I don't believe in a religion. Evolution is scientific. No, it's not, because it fails the scientific method. In order for something to be scientific, it has to be proven through the scientific method, and evolution fails that test. Why does it? Because there is no origin, no evidence, no witness, no purpose, and absolutely no proof. So what does that become? That's what people try to say about the Bible, but there is proof. There's more proof to prove the Bible than there is evolution, believe it or not. It's assumptions, it's interpretation, and it's imagination, not science, it's belief. And guess what? I always say this. question everything, follow truth. So let's go. So, in all reality, authentic science explains how the Most High did it. Yes, I said it, and I stand on it. Real, true science actually proves the Bible. It stands with the Bible. Pseudoscience does not. But actually, this pseudoscience, this so-called evolution, is actually in the Bible, because we're going to talk about why. Because it's actually a religion that's been practiced for thousands of years. Yes, we'll get into how that happened and what the cover-up is, because we're going in deep. Science complements the Bible. Pseudoscience does not. Science is a fact, not a belief. That's the power of science. Science is the search for truth and knowledge. Originality and autonomy are its lifeblood. Science only becomes science by a bona fide treatment of data, facts, and intellectual property. Science doesn't need faith. It requires and it needs evidence. Remember that. So when somebody wants to come to you about this evolution, it fails all of that. What people say, well, what about, they always want to bring in real scientific, truths, like, things that we, that like biology and all that good stuff. Okay, yes, I see that. I love science. But the thing is, evolution fails the scientific method. Truth in science is always determined from observational facts. Okay, that's a quote by David Douglas. Observational science is based on direct observation in the natural world. Direct observation. That's why we have these microscopes. That's why they do these tests. That's why they recreate things within a laboratory. That's why they do that. That's why they have these different tests when they put, tests and practices on different animals and different, plants and whatever else, to make sure that it's true and it's real. They have to observe what happens, the outcome. Remember, the scientific method starts with an observation. Research the topic area. You have your hypothesis. You have to test with an experiment. You have to analyze the data. Did this actually take place? Well, what was your hypothesis? And then after you test it, what's the outcome and what's the conclusion? If your conclusion fails or it's inconclusive, then it's not fact. So now you have to start over, and that's when it becomes a belief, or you throw it away and say, hey, this isn't true. I'm not able to recreate this. This is not passing. This is not scientific. It becomes pseudoscience. True science versus evolution. What can we see and test? Observe, test, and repeat. Verifiable. True science is about what we can see, like I said. Evolution is a story about the past that requires more faith than the Bible. Did you hear me? I said it loud and clear. Evolution requires more faith than the Bible, because at least the Bible has an eyewitness account. There is no eyewitness accounts billions and billions and millions of years ago. There is nobody was there. It was just raining on some rocks. Who was there? Because it just spontaneously came. No, there is no eyewitness account. Evolution has to be belief that nothing created everything and life created itself. You have to believe that nothing created everything. That's a strong thing, a strong narrative to believe in, that millions and billions of years ago, it was nothing. Then all of a sudden, something just came. That requires you to believe in, because that's not scientific. That's not observable. There's no eyewitnesses. There's nothing, which we never seen. We never seen it happen in the real world. We have never seen anything spontaneously happen out of thin air. We've never observed that. Not anything. Just everything has to come from something. Okay. The Bible has eyewitness account. Evolution has no eyewitnesses, only assumptions. So people can assume things. See, when people start to assume things, or they start to provide what they believe, or their theories, or their queries, or whatever, when they start to put things together with I think, I believe, a lot of that stuff is called an assumption. It's assuming. And what's this saying? When everybody assumes, you can make a what out of you and me, correct? So a story
Correct.
about exactly an assumption makes a what out of you and me. Okay, so stop letting these people make those, out of you, out of yourself. Don't let them do that to. We're not gonna let them do that to us. Okay, we're not gonna let them do that to us. But remember, if somebody wants to come to you about evolution, you say it's not observed, it's not testable, it's not repeatable, based on assumptions, and it requires faith. I watched this scientist talk about, he had some what did he have in a petri dish? He had some what was it? It was some I can't even, what was it? He had it in the petri dish for about 40 years. And all it did was, bacteria, excuse me. He had bacteria in a petri dish. They have done this study and it's still going on. And what has the bacteria turned into? Just bacteria. Still bacteria. After all the things they've done to this bacteria, it still remains to be bacteria. It has not changed into anything else but bacteria. Okay. So they're trying, okay, but it's not working. So let's talk about a theory versus observational science, because a lot of people like to say, well, evolution is a theory. Okay, see, that's the word theory that we have to really talk about, that word theory. So what is a scientific theory? A scientific theory is a well-substantiated explanation of some aspects of the natural world that is based on a body of facts that have been repeatedly confirmed through observation and experimentation. It is a framework that integrates and generalizes many hypotheses and observation, providing a cohesive explanation for phenomena. So they tell us that it's built on a body of facts, repeatedly confirmed, integrates and generalizes, explains and predicts phenomena. So they're predicting, there's a framework, they're giving some form of explanation. However, it's not a fact. See, that's the thing. The word that we're looking for is fact. Now, observational science, in essence, observational science involves directly gathering the information. So we're not looking for anybody's explanation of something. We can gather the information ourselves. We can go out there and we can do exactly what they said. So they say it takes X, Y, and Z to make this. Then you should be able to take X, Y, and Z and create it yourself. We don't need someone's explanation. See, when somebody has to explain something to you, they're giving you their opinion. Okay? We don't need opinions. We need the raw data. It says, in essence, observational science involves directly gathering information about the natural world through observation and experimentation. Observations are the raw data and theories are the framework that explains and connects that data. So we have the theories, however, we got the data to confirm those theories. So key points, and we can observe that information. You cannot observe a theory because the theory hasn't been proven. You're trying to prove it, but it hasn't been proven yet. And evolution has been around for a while now. And the only thing they can definitely prove is that bacteria can remain bacteria for 40 years. So they say gathering data through observation, use experimentations to test. Raw data drives understanding, builds, and refines theories. Together, they drive discovery. So they say, hey, first you have a scientific theory, that's fine. But then you have the conclusion, which is the observable science. Scientific theory is at the beginning. Now, evolution is still at the beginning stages. If you want to put your faith in that beginning stage, that's okay, but do not call that science, because it's not. It's a belief. So people say they believe in evolution, but do they know all of the 6 stages of evolution? So evolution is just not the biological evolution. Everybody always starts there. You have to start with the cosmic evolution, which is the first stage, which is the Big Bang, chemical evolution, which is number 2, stellar evolution, which is number 3, organic evolution, which is number 4. Then we get to macro evolution, which by the way, there are no transitional fossils ever found of other animals, but we'll talk about that in a second. We got the macroevolution, and then we have microevolution, and then chemical evolution is the origin of life. All right, so without the understanding of the origin of life, you cannot have evolution, because evolution deals with the first cell. You cannot have the biological without the chemical. See, people don't talk about the chemical aspect of evolution. You have to take very small molecules such as formaldehyde and CO2. You got to make the 4 classes of chemicals, which is carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, which is DNA, RNA, to make a cell. Yes. So the most important thing is, how did this cell form? That's the major component of life. It's a cell. So you mean to tell me that it rained on rocks and then it formed a soup, and then this cell just spontaneously came together and was formed? Well, if that's the case, then if it was that simple, then our good scientists out here should be able to do just that, right? They should be able to do that. But we're going to talk about how they're not actually able to do that, and how they're actually having the hardest time doing that. So if we have these Ivy League scientists, right, trying to do this, and they can't do it, then how could it have done it by itself, raining on rocks? That right there is where people have to come to the consensus that, hey, this doesn't make any sense, because our scientists should be able to recreate this within the laboratory if it was that simple. But they're finding out that it's not as simple as they originally thought. And who I have here is Dr. James Tour, who is a chemical chemist. And he actually is coming out and saying, hey, we don't have everything the way you think we have it, what you think we got going on. He's exposing, and we're going to talk a little bit about what he has talked about and exposed. So how did life begin? So the primordial soup model, molecules in a pond, flashes of lightning, the molecules come together to form a cell. Now, if somebody wants to talk about a child's story, if you want to talk about the Bible being, I mean, come on, people put the Bible down, but this sounds more credible to you? A lightning rod hitting a molecule, a pond, and then they form a cell? But anyway, let's get into some real science. So macroevolution, the big claims, no evidence. So macroevolution is the large changes in a species that can lead to the evolution of a new species over a long period of time. So that's the thing. They always want to make fun about God of the gaps. So they used to say, oh, well, the reason why they can't explain anything, they always say, well, God did it. So they use it as the God of the gaps because they didn't really have an explanation as to how something was done. So everybody always said God did it. Well, now we call it time of the gaps, because when they don't have an explanation, they just add in some time. Well, that was 1 million years, a long time ago, a long period of time, a whale, a fish jumped out the sea and, turned into a fish formed a lung and a leg. I mean, come on, it just sounds ridiculous. But see, there is no evidence to support macroevolution. They say there's no observed examples. Not one example of macroevolution has ever been observed. No transitional fossils. Missing links remain missing. The gaps are enormous. So if this took place over millions of years, there should be millions of fossils, right? So people say, oh, well, we find dinosaur bones. We find this, we find that. We barely find them. And then when we do, they're not in a transitional form. They're fully intact, right? So if you find a fruit bat, you're going to find that bat. It's a bat. So where is the transitional stage to get to that bat? They haven't found that yet. So there's no reproductive success. Major changes break genetic information, not improve it. No research support. Biologists reject macroevolution. It's a belief, not a fact. All right. So all of this down here, single cell to unicellular, to the chordata, to a lobe fin, to an amphibia, to a reptile. All of this is child's play. This is all fairy tale. There's no evidence. No evidence. Microevolution is a real now we can talk about microevolution. And that's what people like to stay. They like to stay in that safe zone, which is microevolution. So when somebody wants to talk to you about evolution, they'll bring up micro, but you got to let them know, hey, no, macro. And before you even get to macro, remember there are 6 stages. You got to start with the chemistry first. Okay, we got to talk about the cell. That's the most important thing because the cell is the building block, correct? So let's talk about microevolution. Small changes, big misunderstandings. So what is microevolution? Microevolution is a change in allele frequencies that occurs over time due to 4 main mechanisms: mutation, natural selection, gene flow, and genetic drift is what they say. What microevolution is not, it doesn't change into, so these are what the Bible would call kinds, okay? But due to that adaptation and different, like they said, situations that can take place, you may find a bird with a longer beak, a shorter beak, a bigger bird, a smaller bird. All these different changes or variations within the same species. But guess what? It's still a bird. Okay, it didn't turn into a whole reptile or a snake. Okay, it's still a bird. And that's what the Bible speaks of. It says about the kind. The kind of animal is a bird, but guess what? There's many different birds, but it's a bird. The Bible stands clear and it's observable. We can observe the different kinds of animals, but we cannot observe any form of macroevolution. That's not observable. But they put the Bible as religion. Well, then you need to put the evolution or the book of Darwin as evolution as well. As religion as well. Excuse me. Both are religion. So microevolution is real and observable, but it does not explain the origins of the new kinds, because the Bible explains that. So evolution is a fairy tale for grown-ups. I like to make sure we say that it's a fairy tale. Once upon a time, life came from non-life. What else? Abiogenesis is a scientific theory explaining how life arose from non-living matter. It suggests that life emerged from inorganic compounds through a series of chemical reactions under the specific conditions of early Earth. These early conditions include intense volcanic activity, high temperatures, and an atmosphere rich in gases like water vapor and methane, producing the primordial ooze. Doesn't that sound like one of your favorite, movies or, I guess one of your favorite comic book stories?
Comic books.
Yeah, comic book, like the X-Men or some kind of mutation took place.
Spider-Man or something.
It sounds, because that's what it is. And these people are really trying to test, see the word test, and play with our intelligence and our emotions. They're trying to see how far you're willing to go to accept nonsense. Come on. This is like a straight up movie, not to put a plug out there, but Spider-Man is getting ready to come out. What makes Spider-Man so, childish, getting bit with a radioactive spider, then volcanic eruptions and chemical reactions creating life. They can use this and they probably have many times used this as an opening to many of these movies and comic books and stuff like that, cartoons. People just don't recognize it because they don't know how, they don't really study the chemical part of, they don't really study that part of evolution. They only go straight to the biological form of it. But 3.5 billion years ago, abiogenesis proposes that the first life forms generated were very simple and through a gradual process became increasingly complex. So they started out simple, but guess what? There's that time, 3.5 billion years. Then they became complex. How did they do that? Why? When? Exactly? They don't know. Only thing they need you to do is just believe them. See, when you start to put your belief, that requires faith. And when you have faith, that means that these people have now become your what? Your God. You have deified them because you didn't put your faith in your life in these people's hands. So incorrect and out of date data. Are humans classified as animals? I have this conversation with people all the time, and people really say that they really believe that they're animals. And it really, it hurts me to hear that they think that we're animals. We're not animals. We are above the animals. The Most High created us to be the keepers of the animals. When you look at what's going on, and we're going to talk about natural selection in this later on in this presentation. This presentation is not too long. But when the Most High created us to be the keepers of the animals, the animals are here to serve us, and we are here to be their keepers. There's goat herders, there's, herders for the sheep, and there's a reason why, because we're here to protect them. Nearly all the animals are going endangered or extinct in the wild. Why is that? Because they need to be protected. And now that they are protected in these sanctuaries, they are now being able to last a little longer, because that was our role the whole time, was to be the keepers of the animals, not to be with them, not to mate, not to do anything like that, and compete. Okay. We're not here to compete with them, because we're not them. We were designed to be there to protect them. And it's sad for me to see that people think that we are. But see, you got to understand why they want you to believe that you are an animal, because if you are an animal, you're going to be subjected to the rules of the animal kingdom. Meaning that when a tiger or a lion goes off to a weaker weaker animal, they can take that animal out. And that's just the rules of what? The animal kingdom. And that's pretty much what's going on right now. It's called survival of the fittest. See, when you put yourself down to an animal, that means that you are now subjected and you're like prey, and they can prey on you. Instead of being equal underneath the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, you're now no longer, there's no laws, there's no rules. You have now become an animal. And if you are a weaker vessel or a weaker animal, and a stronger animal comes and take you out, but then there's nothing there to protect you and nothing to tell them that they're doing any wrong to you, because you're just an animal. You're a lesser evolved animal. How about that? Or a being, if that's what they want to classify you as. But it says here, this is what AI would tell you. It says, yes, from a biological and scientific perspective, humans are classified as animals. Specifically, humans belong to the kingdom of Animalia. So we're in a kingdom. Under this rule, we're now under the animal kingdom. What's going to stop a lion from eating a zebra? And is it wrong? No. Is it wrong for the lion to go and eat the zebra's babies? No. So if we're all animals, then what's wrong with somebody taking out your babies? If you subject yourselves to the laws of the animal kingdom. But if we subject ourselves to the Bible, there is rules against that. And that's why, and people will be punished. If not today, then trust me, the Most High will punish them later. So right here it says, while the term animal can sometimes carry a colloquial meaning that contrasts with humans, scientifically, humans are a part of the broader animal kingdom. They say we have shared biological traits. Humans share numerous biological and physiological characteristics with other animals, including genetic makeup. Humans share 98% of their genes with bonobos and chimpanzees, internal organ systems, and similar cell structures. What does this prove? Does this prove that we're animals, or does that mean we have a common designer? Yeah. Just means that we have a common designer who used the design that worked perfectly for us and the animals. Doesn't mean that we are the same. And that 98% that they're trying to pass off, that 2% is a huge difference. And we're going to talk about in a second. Mobility and responsiveness. Humans are mobile organisms that respond to their environment, maintain homeostasis, internal balance, and have nervous and muscular systems that enable movements. So that means we're an animal because of that. Need for energy and nutrition. Oh, like all animals, humans require energy obtained through the consumptions of food and use it to grow, reproduce, and sustain life processes. Everything that's on this planet requires some form of nutrition and food or something to grow. Does that mean that just means that's what you need to survive. That doesn't mean that we're all the same. Multicellular and eukaryotic humans are multicellular organisms made up of eukaryotic cells which are a nucleus and membrane bond organelles. Okay, that's just the blueprint. That's how he did it. That's the design mechanism. That doesn't mean that we're the same. Evolutionary relationships. There's that word, evolutionary relationships. Humans share a common ancestor with other animals and are a part of the evolutionary tree of life that nobody has ever seen. This tree of life. Nobody's seen it. It's never done anything. Right now, the polar bears are going through it. When are they going to, just say, hey, I don't want to, no longer exist. Let me start evolving. When are the polar bears going to start evolving? Because they say it gets to a time where you gotta, when you're about to, go extinct, that's when you're supposed to get that, ability to think, to want to evolve, right? Don't you think the polar bear should have that now, since Alaska is warming up? Right. But let's keep going. Again, evolution is a fairy tale for grown-ups. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, an ape turned into a man. What if I told you that? Doesn't that sound crazy? You know what? A long, long time ago, an ape turned into a man. You'll be like, what? But if a scientist or somebody with with some letters behind their name tell you that, I guess
a lab coat.
Yeah, a lab coat. I guess it sounds better that way. It's more respected, when they tell you that. But you got to understand, people with those lab coats, pretty much before time, they were called wizards and warlocks. I'm going there, yes, because I'm going to be going into another part of this in a second. But right now, we're just evaluating the science. I like to look at science. I just don't go based off of history. We have to look at the science as well. So, here's the time. They say man's ancestor is the apes. They transitioned to man-like apes, hominids, 14 million years, 3 million years to first ape man. None of this has been observed. None of this has been found. This is all somebody's opinion. This is what somebody thinks. This is somebody's thoughts in their mind. This is what they, that word again, they assumed. They're assuming this. Okay. Then they had Neanderthal man, 300,000 years. And then Homo sapien, modern humans, 35,000 years. Again, if you guys saw my previous video I did about radiocarbon dating and the different methods of dating and how all of them pretty much fail. Okay, they don't all stand up to the test of time. Now, carbon dating does stand up, but carbon dating does not go back to this 25 million. No, don't go back to millions of years at all. And max it out. They claim it maxes out at 50,000, but it doesn't even go that deep. And I explain all that more thoroughly. But right now, 25 million years ago, Australopithecus is what started it all. And we're going to look at Australopithecus. And we're going to look at that. So let's talk about their need to lie. If you got 25 million years of this stuff going on, you would think that they will have 25 million years of, because the only thing that's going on is things are dying, right? And these things they die and they should leave skeletal remains and you should be able to dig them up. But I think this one here is funny. I had to just use it. It's Piltdown Man. Piltdown Man refers to a paleoanthropological hoax. There's that word hoax, where fossil fragments were presented as the remains of the previously unknown early human ancestor. It says the discoveries announced in 1912 was a combination of a human cranium and an orangutan jaw. So they took the cranium or the skull of a human and they deliberately attached a human's jaw to it. Deliberately treating to appear old and fit together, it was held as a missing link until 1953 when it was exposed as a fraud. Now, I know a lot of you guys who do believe in it, but like, Naphtali, that was back in 1953. Why are you bringing that up? Because I'm going to bring up something that's going on right now. Let's talk about right now. Let's talk about Lucy. Yeah, let's talk about Lucy, Australopithecus. Let's talk about our girl Lucy. I love Lucy, right?
I love Lucy like the TV show.
Yeah. I'm showing my age. All right, so the lies of Lucy. Let's talk about Lucy. You see this image over here to the right. They show that she has a foot. They show that she has a foot. Lucy wasn't found with a foot. Did you know that, Knowledge Born?
Yep.
She wasn't. Well, why did she have a foot? Why did she have a leg bone at all? Why did she have this? You know, there's the tibia and the fibula. Why did she have that? She wasn't found with a foot. She wasn't found with a knee joint. And then they found a baboon bone in her. But that's not even it, ladies and gentlemen. She didn't even have a complete skull. This is what Lucy looks like. This is what she looks like for real. Do you guys see what Lucy looks like? Do you guys see that? How did we get to this? And this is not even really her fully either. But you see what they're showing everybody? Is that fair? Shouldn't that be a fraud? Shouldn't that be a fraud? When you go to the museums, when they teach our children, they're showcasing this over here that like they have all these bones.
Lucy, you got some explaining to do, Lucy.
Lucy got some explaining to do. Lucy don't look like
some explaining to do, Lucy.
This is not what they didn't give her some hands. Where'd she get these hands from? This is not, they don't have all of this. Use what you got. If they use what now people say when Naphtali Piltdown, man, that's back in the 50s. Okay, but Lucy don't have no foot. She don't have no hands. She don't have no radius, no ulna, which is in the arm. She don't have any of that. She doesn't have a spinal cord. All of this is false. And let's review this information. So they say the Lucy skeleton is supposed to be an intermediate between an ape and a man. There has been a lot of discussion of Lucy's knee joint by the creationists. So they're talking about people like myself, right? Because the creationists are actually going in and they're actually doing the real research. And they're like, no. You guys are lying. If you got so many Lucys, remember, 25 million years ago, it should be a whole bunch of these. Why you gotta lie? Why you gotta put hands on her? If you took the hands away, you took the foot away, people wouldn't believe that she would be able to do what? Stand up. But listen to this. It says the knee joint by creationists and much misunderstanding. This is what he's saying. David Plasty, he said the best I can now determine is that there were two knee joints, one found nearby and one far away. Now, when he said far away, they are talking about miles away. Miles away. This, if somebody died and you found a bone, you found an animal that died and then you found an animal that was, an animal bone miles away, wouldn't you say that belonged to another animal? You wouldn't say that. Lucy was walking and I guess she lost her knee joint a mile away and kept walking and then she lost it, just died. She was, that's what they said. Her bones was falling off a mile away and, she was dying, a part of her leg, I guess she got bit by an animal and it tore off her leg. And let's just keep listening. He said one was found far away, was found to be more blunted or maybe deeper in the strata. It says Dr. Johansson does not claim that the knee joint belonged to Lucy. Look, The knee joint doesn't belong to Lucy. Instead, it was a part of another fossil he found sometime earlier. Why do you need to add other animal bones into Lucy? If this is something that's supposed to be normal, you shouldn't have to, be so desperate. Why the lies? Why the need to lie? He says he does put them together logically, though, claiming that they were of the same species. How do you know that? The whole issue is discussed at length in talks of origins and facts. Lucy is an example of Australopithecus afarensis, and other examples of these species have been found since then. Have they? Where? When? This is all Lucy has. Now, look at the top of here what I have. The authentic image of Lucy has no hands or feet, and her pelvis bone. So this is something else that people don't know. Her pelvic bone was found completely shattered. This part right here, this piece here was found completely shattered. You say, what? How was it found completely shattered when it's a piece of it right there? Well, the scientists found pieces of it, and they took plaster and glued it all together, and they grinded the bones down. Does that sound like you're cheating to me? Manipulation? Doesn't that sound like you're falsifying it? You found it shattered. How do you know how to put something back together when you never even seen it before? It was pieces. How do you even know those bones even belong? It was shattered. It's a complete shattered mess. And they took what? Plaster, and they grinded the bones down, and they glued it all together, and they formed this right here to make it look like she has a pelvic area like we do. And this is all you guys can take some time and actually research that they found a bone from another animal miles away. And then she was found to have a baboon bone within her. And then look at what they're showing, though. This is what they're showing to you guys, to me, to our families, to our children. Right. They're making it look like she has a foot. When did she have feet? That's the most important part in the complete skull. Now they said, well, at first they took a baboon's bone. They just lied here, and this is all lies. It's worse than Piltdown Man. This is worse than Piltdown Man. This is look at what Lucy has for real compared to what she has here. Why the need to lie? They said his other ones, he says, what does he say? It hurt him. He says he does put them together logically, though claiming that they were of the same species, but it was from another fossil. So why you gotta first they talking about Lucy, lost the bone a mile away. I guess, like I said, she done lost some bones. Then they say, well, no, y'all. They said right here, other examples of this species have been found. Then where's her picture? Where are they? Right. They don't have. This is all they have. And Lucy is the evolutionist main. This is who they go to. Lucy. Right. But they put a foot on her. They didn't give her some hands. They didn't give her this skull. They didn't glue together and grinded down her bones to make this pelvis. They didn't got baboon bones in her. They didn't got whatever. What's the difference between her and Piltdown Man? I think she's worse. I think she's worse than Piltdown Man. They should be ashamed of themselves. But let's just keep talking though, right? So this is the other claim that these evolutionists love to make. We are genetically similar. 98%. And I say we are not identical, but we are, they say we're not identical. This is them, but we are closely related. They say humans and chimpanzees share approximately 98% of their DNA. While this indicates a very high degree of genetic similarities, the small percentage of differences accounts for significant variations in physical characteristics, behaviors, and other traits. And you got to understand, this is something called genetics. This is genes. we're going to go into something. So right here, there's something called a cell. This is the basic structure. They go all the way down here to genes. They don't start at the cell. They don't start at the nucleus. They don't start at the chromosomes. They ignore the DNA. They ignore the chromosomes. They ignore the nucleus. They ignore the cells. But they say, oh, genes. Why do they do that? Because they try to, that's all they have. And we're getting ready to debunk. We're going to crush that just now. What does it say in Nature? It says science keeps getting things wrong. It's time to come clean. They're telling everybody to come clean. Dr. Ken Hovind is out here, been out here for years, telling everybody that they have been lying in the textbook. Lies in the textbooks. Locked the man up for 10 years, right? Now, it says it's time to admit that genes are not the blueprint for life. So why they keep talking about this 98.5% when genes are not even the blueprint? You guys know, you guys probably seen the banana. We serve 60-50% with the banana. All of that. We all have to be together to be able to survive on this earth. So we all have to be built the same in order to, survive on this earth. A banana shares the same amount of genetic, 50-60% with us. It's okay. Does that mean we're bananas? Does that mean we're part banana? Did we come from a banana? No. But they say here, it's time to admit that genes are not the blueprint for life. The view of biology often presented to the public is oversimplified. You know why? They try to say it's dumbed down. They dumb it down because they want to dumb us down. And it's out of date. This is old. Scientists must set the record straight, argues a new book. Now, this was published back in 2024. Have they changed anything since then? No. They still are teaching it the same. Here's another one. Why we need to change our biology in textbooks. There's a lot of whistleblowers out here that are trying to let us know. Not these scientists, because they all are a part of it. They don't want us to wake up. Genes are not the blueprint of life. Dr. Alphonsus M. Ariasis, okay? They're all exposing this. Cells are the building blocks to life, not a gene. It says, while genes play a crucial role in life, they are not the fundamental building blocks of life in the same way that cells are. So forget this gene stuff. We share 98%. What about the cells? Isn't it the building block? Shouldn't we have the same cellular makeup? No, we don't. Cells are the basic structures and functional units of all living organisms, not genes. Genes are segments of DNA that provides instructions for the building proteins, which are essentials for various cellular functions and traits. However, the complex organization and interactions within a cell are what truly defines life. Genes are not even important. But see, they know that us, they dumbed us down, like they said, oversimplifying things, and they use that word genes, and people get all, excited and say, look at that, genes. Genes aren't important. It's cells, body, chromosomes, DNA, amino acids, and proteins. It says cell theory states that cells are the basic units of structures and functions in all living things. Cells carry out the essential life processing, such as metabolism, growth, and reproduction. Genes located on the chromosomes contain the instructions for making proteins. These proteins then carry out various functions within the cell, influencing traits and characteristics. Now, beyond the genes, while genes are essential for life, they don't operate in isolation. The cell's environment and interactions with other cells and complex regulatory mechanisms all play a role in how genes are expressed and how life functions. So, what does that mean? It says life is not simply a matter of genes determining traits. The interplay between genes, proteins, cellular structures, and environment creates a dynamic and complex system. So they just keep talking about the genes, but they need to add in, the cells, Okay, they need to add in the chromosomes, they need to add in the DNA, they need to add in the amino acids, and they need to add in the proteins. And then let's see how much the apes share with us. I bet you that 98% drops all the way down. But they're trying, like they said, but they're oversimplifying it because they like it. You know, one thing I noticed is when people like something, they don't require very much to believe in it. When they don't like something, they need a whole, pantheon of evidence. But when it's something that they like or they agree with or something that sits well with them, they don't require much at all. They just need a little bit and they just go like, yeah, I take it. But when you don't believe in something, you're double checking. You're like, hey, well, what about this? What about that? What about this? All of a sudden your mind is thinking now, your mind needs to start thinking about evolution the same exact way. But let's keep going. So here's my my major source is Dr. James Tour. He's a synthetic chemist, a nanotechnologist, and a professor at Rice University. Okay, very credentialed. And he is a professor of computer science, professor of material science and nanotechnology, and he's also has a PhD. Okay, so people really care. Like I said, when you start talking about certain things, people start to care about the credentials. So he says, has science even explained the origins of life? He says, not even close. Are we being scammed? This is him bringing this information out, by the way. He's exposing and he's blowing the whistle. He says the problems remain unsolved. From molecules to cell, gaps that science has not bridged. From molecules to cells. Like I said to you guys earlier, if it rained on rocks and created a primordial soup and a cell was formed from that, then these scientists, right? Let me go back. Not just any scientists, but these synthetic chemists, these nanotechnologists and professors should be able to recreate this within a laboratory. If it was able to rain on rocks from inorganic matter and create a soup, and then lightning struck on it, and then all of a sudden these cells started to form, well, guess what? And that was without any form of intelligence. That was done on its own. That was all autonomous, right? So then these scientists, these PhDs, these nanotechnologists should be able to do the same thing within the Petri dish in a very well clean environment, everything set up, everything, they have everything at their fingertips, all the materials. They didn't have to wait for it to rain on them rocks. They have all the building blocks, correct? So he says, nobody, here we go, has solved the mass transfer problem in chemical transformation from a small molecule to a cell. Hold on. You mean to tell me nobody has been able to do that? But you got millions of people out here believing that it rained on rocks and a molecule turned into a cell. But these nanotechnologists can't do it? Number two, he says nobody has made any of the higher order structures needed for the simplest of cells. The simplest of cells. He said nobody has been able to do it. He said the chemicals, he said science has not demonstrated how non-living chemicals organize, build, and sustain a living cell. And if, let's just speak in future terms. If somebody was to do it, that actually proves the Bible, because what that proves is it took intelligence to be able to create life. These things did not do it on its own. But right now, our so-called, the highest of the highest, these lab coat wearers, these PhDs are not able to even do that. So how could it do it in a just raining on some rocks in our inorganic material? But let's just keep going. He says from cell to soup, from soup to cell. Remember, we're talking about this soup. This is his information. He says, what's needed to make a simple living cell? You need carbohydrates, you need peptides, nucleic acids, lipids. You need the 4 building blocks. You need non-numeric sugars. You need amino acids, nucleotides, and you need glycerol desimerizations. These are the building blocks of the building blocks. So they know what you need. But guess what? When they put all this stuff together, no life comes. He says nobody has solved the amino acid polymerization problem with amino acids bearing active side chains. Now we're getting very technical here. He says nobody's been able to do that. He also says the operating system of a cell, the motor proteins. It says the goalpost is moving further and further away. Every time they think they figured out something, they say the goalpost keeps moving further and further away. Things just start to get even more complex. It says away, the target is becoming more complex because they just realized the complexity of the target in the 1800s. They thought a cell was a bunch of protoplasm. It says now we know it is a factory in there, an amazing factory. So these people in the 1800s, by the way, they still are holding on to their theory. For some reason, they don't want to let. Why don't they want to let these people in the 1800s theories go? Because there's more to it, and we're going to get into why. But it says the amino acids needs to be made prior. Did you hear that word? The key word says made. So they're making it. They all needed to create the proteins to make a cell, the carbohydrates, the proteins, the lipids, nucleic acids, DNA, RNA. So they talk about the complexity. So all of this needed to be done precisely, right? But I guess the lightning and it raining, I guess it just knew to do it on its own. Some way, somehow. I mean, it's amazing what people choose to believe, though. That's what gets me. It says the amino acids have to be linked together in order to put a cell together. And there is no knowledge on how to make a cell in a lab or a laboratory. How can it be formed randomly from a rock in a mindless universe? Where's my bomb? Boom. There we go. How can it be formed randomly from a rock in a mindless universe? I'm asking you guys out there. You guys tell me. Well, let's just keep going. So, with this evolution thing, right? They always say that we're evolving. We're evolving. We're getting stronger. We're getting taller. But why is intelligence declining? The Flynn effect. Those of you out there that know about the Flynn effect, right? And the IQ. So the Flynn effect, he posited that, everybody's getting smarter. They're getting more intelligent. Well, there's something called the reverse Flynn effect. Because everything's starting to decline now. And people are starting to look at the 1900s. So this was posited back in the 1900s about the IQs going up. But see, people said that now they believe the reason why IQs were going up, not due to evolution, but due to better nutrition, improved education, reduced diseases, and modernization. That has nothing to do with evolution. But people can say, well, people were, being more, learning more, being more sanitation, and, things are more structured. That's why they use the term modernization. However, with all that, we're supposed to be at the peak. With that mindset, if we think logically, but our IQ scores are dropping. People are getting dumber, essentially, correct? So they say the reason why this is happening, 1990, so the IQ started to drop at 1990. So 100 years ago, they were dropped 1900s to 1990. That's like almost 100 years. IQs were going up. They were shooting up, right? According to them. But when they started to test from 1990 to today, to present, IQ scores are dropping. Now, they said the reason why is because of digital ecosystems and multitasking. You don't think people were multitasking back then? Changes in school curriculums? What does a school curriculum has to do with your intelligence? Rote and learning and versus concept understanding. Memorization over critical thinking and reasoning. So the Flynn effect, it says approximately plus 3 points per decade. So he was saying IQs were rising 3 points per every 10 years. But now the IQs are dropping. They're going down. Where's your evolution there? And this is just me being nice. Reading levels are falling. People aren't reading the same anymore. You know, they said we're at about a 4th grade reading level. The average person that they test, they said over a decade of decline. High school reading scores are at the lowest since there's that 1990 again, 1992. They say the drop isn't just pandemic learning loss. Reading scores actually peaked in the mid-2010s, around 2013 for 8th graders and 2015 for 4th graders, and have been steadily dropping since. And that's from the Harvard Gazette. Now, IQ scores are dropping, reading levels are dropping. Aren't we supposed to be, animals are going extinct? Why aren't they evolving? I mean, what's going on? Come on. Because all of it's nonsense, right? All of it's nonsense. So Naphtali's going to tell you what's really going on. Let's talk about what's really going on. You see my good friend Darwin there with his mouth. He's like, shh, don't tell nobody. He's like, don't tell nobody. Like I told you, there's a hidden history. So you all ever heard of Grand Tartaria? Grand Tartaria, right? So what is Grand Tartaria? So Grand Tartary was a vast and advanced civilization that once stretched across much of the northern hemisphere, Europe, Asia, and North America. What's the big deal about this? See, what they want to teach is that people back then were more primitive, living in mud huts, and then we slowly started to evolve and we're getting smarter. However, it's the complete opposite. People were actually stronger, smarter, more advanced back then, and we're getting more dumber today. When you look at these structures, right? You look at these structures. Matter of fact, just looking at the buildings that were built in the 1900s. Okay, I was at a library yesterday that was built in the 1920s. Very, very nice library. Still looks the exact same. Over 100 years old, that library. Meanwhile, the homes and stuff that people are building today are falling apart, right? We see the videos, people are talking about, look at this stuff. What's going on? You know, people do not. And then, just speaking of that, Grand Tartaria, they had all these very nice structures, right? And they said that's like that library or your post office, any government building, they took those, or your churches, those were average buildings. They pretty much say all the buildings look like that. But see, what they did is they took those buildings and made them into like government buildings to make you think, oh, okay, well, they built these buildings like this because these are government buildings. However, that's the way everything looked. Okay. And, you know, I'm a big conspiracy theorist and I'm proud. But, you know, they talked about what happened in Chicago and right here in good old St. Louis, the World's Fair. We had the World's Fair here in the 1900s, and I love the park, the Forest Park. And when I go up to that park, I don't have those images, but it was supposed to be all this grand, right? They had all these different buildings, and then they said, well, those were temporary. They just tore them down. No, they just didn't tear them down. there is something called a global reset. Okay, but I'm not even going to get into that. We're just going to keep going. So let's talk about Grand Tartary. So Grand Tartary was a vast and advanced civilization that once stretched across much of northern hemisphere, Europe, Asia, and North America. They had advanced architecture seen in cathedrals, palaces, like I told you, government buildings worldwide. So these are cathedrals, are palaces. You guys see the cathedrals, you see palaces, and you see our government buildings. But what they're saying is that those buildings are pretty much what everybody had. Those were all the buildings. Those were the grocery stores. Those weren't just let's just say government buildings. That's just how all the buildings looked. And they said they were highly educated with a deep understanding of science, art, and engineering, united under one empire, united under one empire. You hear that word? United under one empire before it was divided, conquered, and rewritten out of history. They say the evidence is everywhere. Massive architecture built with precision and beauty. Buildings too grand for technology they claim existed. What did they do? Did they use chisels? Did they use rocks, stone rocks? You know? Ancient maps that show a unified land called Grand Tartary. A global reset wiped out their history and replaced it with lies. A global reset. Now they say, why was it erased? Those in power didn't want you to know about the Grand Tartary. They rewrote history, destroyed records, and labeled the truth as a conspiracy. But the evidence remained for those who's willing to open their eyes. For those of us who are willing to open our eyes, it's all about you and I. You know, the Bible says that people are willfully ignorant. They don't want the truth. You know? But let's go in a little deeper. Survival of the fittest. That's Darwin's manifesto, right? That's what Darwin is known for. We have to understand the philosophy of America is on the survival of the fittest. So in order to survive, you have to be fit. In order to make sure that you remain in power, how do you keep yourself fit is by making other people what? Dumber. Keep you in the dark. That way you'll never know what's going on. You're always privy to them. So that way they always are going to survive and you will not thrive because they know the truth and they keep things a secret. And that's why we have something called secret societies. Oh, did she go there? Yes, she did. See, Darwin's philosophy, Darwinian, is about the survival of the fittest. In order for some people to remain at the top, they got to keep you down at the bottom. And by keeping you in the dark and believing that you're an animal, how low can you go? How low can you go? But let's just keep going. So, you know, I got to take it a step even further. I wouldn't be the queen if I didn't take it a step further. We're going to talk about ancient Babylonianism. Yes. See, remember they say they were all united under one, what? Understanding? They were all united. What does that sound like? That sounds like the Tower of Babel in the Bible. All under one. And then the Most High comes in and he does what? He destroys it. And he makes them start over. That's happened many times where he comes in and he takes everything and he destroys it. And that's pretty much what happens is that he comes in and he destroys it. He calls it something and he does a global reset. He resets everything. Start you over. You know, it happened many times. You know, and so, but this time, this one was really designed because they wanted to restart things because they wanted us to not wake up to, they really changed things to the point where they don't even want you to worship the Most High. They want you to think that he doesn't even exist. Okay? They don't even want you to think the Bible's real now. That's why they did this. They orchestrated all this because they don't want you to know about the past and they don't want you to believe in the Most High and, of course, Christ to receive your salvation. This is all rooted in Babylonianism. They also tell us, these historians, these archaeologists, they all want to make you think they all worship these gods randomly, that they all just believed in these gods. They all was just worshiping the sun, like there wasn't no organized. You had a god, the Egyptians had gods, the Assyrians had gods, the Akkadians had gods. They all just had these gods that just made up. But when you actually start to look at it from a different, you actually start to research, you start to learn, hey, they're actually worshiping the same gods. They just call them by different names because they speak different languages. I mean, and then that's why there's something called Pan-Babylonianism, because all of them are under the map of Babylon. Okay, they're all one, and they all believe in the same gods, and they all operate the same as Babylon because they're Pan-Babylonianists. I know a lot of people probably never heard that word before, but that's actually a real word. Babylon is where what originated? Kabbalism, Gnosticism. Okay. Let's keep going. And then we have the Illuminati. We have the Skull and Bones. We have the Knights of Templar. We got all these secret societies. Why do we have secret societies? Because they're secrets. And they call it, see, they got clever, and they don't use the word Babylonianism anymore. They use the word pagan. You see, paganism is the same thing as Babylonianism, the same gods. Okay, like today is Wednesday, and I like to let everybody know every time you say Wednesday, you're giving homage to Woden. Woden is Odin. Odin goes all the way back to Marduk, who is the Babylonian god. Ironically, that's today. I didn't even think about it like that. But anyway, Pan-Babylonianism. Go ahead and give me my bomb. Go ahead. This girl dropping knowledge. She dropping all these knowledge. All right, guys. So again, that's that word Pan-Babylonianism. Go ahead and take your time and do some research on that. Babylonian roots of ancient civilizations. The Bible calls her Mystery Babylon. She is the mother. She's the mother. The Bible, that's why people don't read the Bible. It gives us it's a cheat code. But see how they control it is by getting you not to read it. The Bible is a cheat code. It already tells you about Mystery Babylon. Mystery Babylon is what? The Sumerians, the Akkadians, the Assyrians, the Amorites, the Hittites, the Egyptians, the Elamites, the Persians. And that's just the ancient. But then it's in the who. Who gave the Greeks their knowledge? The Grecians pay homage to who? The Phoenicians. The Phoenicians are who? The Canaanites. So if the Greeks pay homage to the Canaanites, the Romans pay homage to the Greeks. Therefore, they pay homage to who? The Canaanites. And then you wonder why the Bible tells you to be wary of who? The Canaanites, because they're the ones that's in charge of all of this. But I'm getting a little too deep. I'm not even trying to go there with y'all tonight. I'm just trying to talk about a little bit. So here we go. Pan-Babylonianism is the historiographical theory that many ancient cultures, myths, religions, laws, and symbols originated from a single source. You see? They want to make it seem like all these, like the Egyptians, everybody talk about the Egyptian, the gods of the Egypt and all that kind of stuff. All that goes back to a single source. They're all the same. Stop making it seem like it's all these different random, like it's all random. No. Even when you go into Hinduism, Buddhism, all this stuff, astrology, astronomy, all that stuff links back to Babylon, who is the mother. Who has done what? Made everybody drunk with her wine. That's got to decode the Bible. I want you guys to understand every day days of the week goes back to a Babylonian deity. Okay? That's just a fact. How did that happen? That's not by coincidence. Every holiday goes back to a Babylonian deity. They call it paganism because to get you to not know that paganism, before it was called paganism, it was called Babylonianism. See, they keeping us asleep by changing the word. They changed the names, they changed the words, but hey, the Most High said he's going to preserve it all for us. And those of us who care, my truth seekers out there, shout out to you guys. But when the gods who existed as the Anunnaki, oh, what she say? Yeah, she's going to the Anunnaki. Yes, I am. Because the creation of man by the Anunnaki gods, what did they use to create man? They use apes. You guys think Darwin just devised this thought of people? Why none of the other animals evolved into mankind? What made the ape so special? The reptiles, the fish. There's no fish people. There's no reptile people. There's no elephant people, rhinos, cat people, dog people, lion people. What made the monkey? Why they choose the monkey? You know why they chose the monkey? Because the gods of the the Babylonians is who? The Anunnaki gods. And if you read the what? Enuma Elish, when you read the what? The Sumerian tablets, they created man from what? Apes. So when we see these troglodytes or Neanderthals or Denisovans, that's their creation. The Bible tells you he calls them Raphaim. Right? That's why the flood occurred. That's why he had to flood the earth, because of what they did, because they were making their own creation. And did the Neanderthal mix with mankind? Yes. Some people were mixed with the Denisovan, and some people did mix with the Neanderthal. But those were the creations of the Anunnaki. And they're paying homage to the Anunnaki. Now, what they did was they kept it the same. They kept the ape turning into man. The difference is they just took away the God part. But see, that's all they need you to do, is to believe in their creation story. Because that means by default, you're now worshiping their God. You're no longer worshiping the Most High. And that's the whole purpose of evolution. It's to get you to not worship the Most High, but to worship the Creator. Worship their creation, their Creator, their God, who is the Anunnaki. If you guys really want to go there. They say, according to the ancient Sumerian tablets, the Anunnaki, powerful beings who came from the stars, created man to serve them. The arrival, the Anunnaki came to Nibiru, to Earth, Eridu, in search for gold and resources. The experiment, using advanced genetic knowledge, they combined their DNA with that of an early human. Thus, creation, the man, Lulu, was created to labor for the gods and sustain their existence. Man was to do what? Labor for the gods. So human beings are here to be a labor. So us human beings are laborers to the Anunnaki. The purpose. It says, we are not random. We were created with intent, purpose, and a divine hierarchy. We were created, not evolved. Question the narrative, seek the truth, know your origins. Now, we weren't created by them, but they did have a creation, and it came from apes. Darwin just didn't pull the apes out of nowhere. Darwin was a Babylonianist, part of the secret societies. Babylon, the Numalish, Eridu Genesis. Remember that? Eridu Genesis. See, I'm not even going that deep tonight, guys. I'm not even going that deep. I just touched the surface. But remember, evolution is the survival of the fittest. And the thing is, to be fit, we have to do what? We have to have knowledge. And we all have to continue to make sure we do our research and to understand that the Most High, the Bible, is the true book, not Darwin's book. Darwinian evolution is Babylonianism. And I close. And that's it, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I had a good time with you all. I hope you guys learned anything. If you guys have any questions, I'm here. And thank you all. Thank you so much, Knowledge Born. I hope you had fun with me as well. And learn something.
Most definitely, Queen Naphtali. You know, every single time you come on here, you shake it up. You understand what I'm saying? You shake it up. And may the Most High be with you. And, you know, this debate you got coming up, man, I'm telling you something. There's two places I don't ever want to be. The other side of the debate church and on the other side of your comedy, because they both is surgical, okay? This I watched it and told him in training down, surgical with this, you understand? He had that shotgun. I'm surgical with this, you understand what I'm saying?
And
Yes,
I have to bring it. Nobody else is gonna bring it like me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I have to bring the information because not only am I going to bring you the science, I'm going to bring you the history, and of course, I'm always going to bring that Bible because I am a firm believer. The Bible is the foundation. It's a cheat code. It's a cheat sheet. It tells us all of it. But see, these spirits and these people that are in charge are, trying to get us, confused. And what is Babel? It's confusion, right?
Right.
And everything is all confused. But see, not just myself, but a lot of us out here are providing this information. We're digging in, we're digging in, we're exposing, we're researching. My true seekers, shout out to you guys who are not going to be, hey, what's good, Killah Priest? We're not going to be succumbed to the Anunnaki. We're not going to worship them because they know that, they already know that they've been around for a while, right? And they like, well, how do we get you to not, worship your God? How do we get that? So the first thing they're going to do is they're going to make it like he doesn't exist because they want you to worship their God, right? They want you to worship their God. So how does those gods get you to worship them and to turn your back on the true God? And they want you to celebrate his creation or what he attempted to create because that's all been killed off, So my thing is, it's all been destroyed. But we know if we look at it, like I said, for those of you that want to wake up, a lot of my people out there don't want to. They want to stay asleep. Which I don't know.
So I want to ask though.
Yes.
What have you found in your studies, like even just dealing with people from, I say like a mental, like a psychological level? You were dealing with evolution, right? What have you found in regards to people with this sort of trauma response when you bring up the Bible? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you notice you bring up the Bible, some people kind of get unrest and uneasy, and then like, what kind of thing you think has happened in regards to mentality to where something we used to gravitate towards, we kind of shy away as soon as somebody bring up, or if they talk about it, they might tell you on the side like, yeah, Queen, I'm telling you, I believe, I believe in the Bible, but you know what I'm saying, What do you think that is?
Well, Noah has said it very well. If you guys read the Book of Jubilees, which people will tell you not to read, but again, that's just to keep you in the dark. Nobody should tell you not to read anything, okay? You read whatever you want to read, okay? Knowledge is power, okay? We all have something called discernment. But in the book of Jubilees, Noah goes to the Most High, and he pleads and says, hey, these spirits are coming after my sons, right? He said these bad spirits. And so a lot of us are dealing with spirits, and they come and they manipulate our minds, and that's their job. And unfortunately, sometimes, whatever you got in your heart anyway, only thing they're going to do is play off of more of what you got in your heart. Because a lot of us already have in our heart that we don't want to believe in the Bible. So what they're going to do is they're going to, you may have a little bit of, hey, I want to learn a little bit more, but that spirit would go, no, you don't. Leave that alone. Don't listen to her. Don't talk to him. Leave that alone. That's not real. Even though deep down, you got this feeling like, you know what, I think what she's saying or what he's saying is right. But those spirits will come on you. So I know a lot of people are dealing with that spirit, and we do have to pray. That's why we got to have that power of prayer, and we also got to, like I said, you got to read. Don't just take research. A lot of people don't even know any of that stuff even existed from that perspective of me talking about evolution, because they're too busy looking at people that are pro-evolution. See, I look at people that's against the Bible, and I look at people that's for the Bible. I look at both. I've got a book of the contradictions and errors in the Bible. I bought that book and I read it because I wanted to know, is there really contradictions and errors in the Bible? Even though there isn't, but I still wanted to know. I don't run away from things. People say, oh, well, that's not true because of this book. Well, let me go read that. Okay, okay, what do you have so I can look into what you got so I can see why, and then once I read it and I look into it, I'd be like, you don't got nothing. But see, a lot of people don't want to look into and read what we have, is because they know that it's going to trump and debunk their religion. See, people are diehard in this religion of Babylonianism. They don't know that Babylonianism has been around for thousands of years. That's why you see people talking about their Egyptians and they Hotep, or you got folks talking about they. Anyway, people. Hey, I had to say something. You got people talking about they're over here doing this. You got people going over here talking about their that. They all are the same. They all are the same. If you're a Catholic, sorry, that's Pan-Babylonianism as well. All of it's the same. And that's why it says they were united. Grand Tartaria, they say they were united. They were one. They build up and they become one under one religion, under one God or gods, under one practice. They're unified. Well, people will say, well, what's wrong with that? Well, they're unified against the Most High. So what he does is he separates you. He goes, okay, and this is mercy, guys. This is him doing mercy. He's trying to help you, and that's why we're in a period called grace. We're in a grace period right now because he's trying to give us time to get ourselves together, because a lot of us, unfortunately, aren't going to make it. And that's why people like Knowledge Born and myself and other people are trying to share this information with you. And Killah Priest, his platform is open to all people so that you guys can hear the perspective from all. You're getting all the information, but deep down inside of that heart, that Bible is what's real. Stop looking at Catholicism, guys. That's not And you got to think about it like this, because I mentioned this to you guys. I want you guys to listen to me. I told you that Christianity, the Bible, is not the religion of this country. It's not. It's evolution, because why would they teach evolution if they make it mandatory, but they don't make the Bible mandatory? I believe in the Bible. I'm not making no evolution no mandatory. You're not going to learn that from me. Now, of course, I'll teach it to, big shouts out to my biology teacher when I was in biology. He taught creation. And he also taught the biblical narrative alongside evolution. And he didn't teach it as if it was fact. He taught it as if it was theory. And he made sure he specified it. And I appreciate that. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people whose teachers and professors are not doing that. They're teaching it to them as if it's gospel. As if they have it like I just told you guys. They don't even know how to make a cell. They don't know how to do any of this stuff. They have no clue. But 3.5 billion years ago, it rained on rocks. And then the cell just appeared. And then you got these nanotechnologists, these chemists, they can't do it. And these are people. It's not doing it on its own, autonomously, right? So people have to start to come to the realization that, hey, you know, and they are. Listen to a lot of the scientists. They're like, hey, you know, they're becoming more what they call deist, okay, or agnostic, not atheist, but agnostic. So they're starting to believe that, well, you know what, maybe there is a God. Now, are they coming to the Bible? But see, that's all designed too. They want you to be an agnostic or a deist or a theist. That still falls in their lap. You believing in something. It's just, as long as you don't believe in the Bible. That's why they do a poor job. They control the Christian churches. And guess what? In these Christian churches that they control, they do a terrible job, right? Only thing they talk about is stuff that's not, you know, all this information, and they don't even they don't even know anything about, you know, people say, well, what proof do we have outside of the Bible? Do they know? No, they don't know. Only thing they know is John 3:16. Okay. For God so loved the world. And that's okay, you know, but people need a little bit more. And that's done strategically to get you away from the Bible. They put more time in you learning evolution. Funding is mandatory. That's done on purpose. The Bible is not done. If you think about it, if you truly are a so-called Christian nation, why wouldn't you put the Bible as something that's mandatory? And trust me, we have Christians, real, you know, Christians who are trying to get the Bible taught in schools, who are trying to, you know, they have, this is the thing, in the United Nations buildings and a lot of government buildings, they will have the Code of Hammurabi. You know who Hammurabi is? They have his code, right? And Hammurabi, for those of you that don't know, is a Babylonian king, and he is an Amorite. Now, and he worships who? The Babylonian gods. The Anunnaki, aka Marduk, all them, right? Baal, the Bible calls him Baal. Now, why does the United Nations and many other government buildings have Hammurabi's code of Hammurabi all in them? So this one guy, matter of fact, in the Supreme Court, they have a huge mural with Hammurabi up there. You know, and also in the Supreme Court. Now people say, well, Hammurabi was a lawgiver, but you know who else was a lawgiver? Moses. Moses was a lawgiver. Now this is supposed to be a Christian nation. Why you got Hammurabi everywhere? So this one guy, he tried to put in the 10 Commandments. Now he's saying you can keep Hammurabi, but let's put the 10 Commandments. He had like a book, and it was like a statue. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, but he was putting them in different government buildings. They came in there and they took those things out of there. They said, nope, that's gone. Let's get that out of there. We don't need that. So Moses. And people would say, well, Moses is a biblical figure. He's not historical. No, there's actual proof that Moses was a historical figure. Just like Hammurabi. Hammurabi paid homage to his god, Anu. Well, not Anu, but Marduk. But he thanks Anu, right? In his preamble. When you read the preamble to the Code of Hammurabi, he gives homage to Anu. Now he's sitting there kneeling down on his statue, giving the knowledge from the god Shamash. This is inside of our United Nations buildings, our government buildings, all of our law buildings. He's kneeling down to the god Shamash, and Shamash is giving him the knowledge. Why don't we have 10 Commandments, building statues of the 10 Commandments in these buildings? Matter of fact, we shouldn't even have Hammurabi anywhere, right? This is supposed to be Christian nation. Hammurabi shouldn't be nowhere. But to be fair, they said, well, let's just put the 10 Commandments on the other side in the building. They said no. He ain't going in here. No. But they're supposed to be a Christian nation. But they got Hammurabi everywhere. So if you guys take your time and research where Hammurabi's relief is in our nation buildings, you're going to find them everywhere. Like I said, look at the Supreme Court and this is Supreme Court. This is our top court, right? They got a big old mural and Hammurabi's up there. Now, for those of you that do your research, they're going to say, well, they say Moses is up there. That's not no Moses. That ain't no Moses. They need to stop. That's what they telling you. They got all these angels up there. I mean, it looks like it's a Babylonian relief. And that goes to show you who their true gods are, because they make sure that you see Hammurabi kneeling down to the deity Shamash, who is the sun god. And what is Sunday? Sunday is for the sun god, and Shamash, that's his day. So, it's not, when you start to look at stuff like that, they deliberately are taking out the 10 Commandments, but they're keeping the Code of Hammurabi. That's when you have to start to look at them like, hey, this ain't no Christian nation. This is a Babylonian nation. And just interesting.
Agreed. So I got one final question for you, and then I want to make sure we kind of recap what we spoke about today, and then promote this debate / it might be something else, what I'm saying. Come Saturday one more time. For you personally and your family, since y'all have been taking on, the truth and getting into the Bible, how has it benefited you and your family in your life? Whatever you can share on that.
Well, you know what? I am truly blessed. When you're teaching like this, when you read the Bible, right? The prophets, not to put myself on their level, but, they're getting beheaded, they're getting stoned, they're getting, all dropped in dungeons. So what I'm saying is that, this is not anything to get popular over. How about that? I know that, I know if you want to be popular, and speaking on what I speak on, how I speak on it, that's another thing. It's not, so I don't do this for popularity. I do this because I want to provide information, because I know that there are people before me who took the time out to share the information with me. I've always, I grew up Southern Missionary Baptist. My grandmother was an evangelist. My granddad was a deacon. My mom sung in the choir. My dad was a minister of music. Probably heard me say this many times. So I always believed in the Bible, but I celebrated Christmas, Easter, and it took someone to wake me up. And they took the time out to provide me the information, to share with me and say, hey, these are Babylonian holidays. We call them pagan, but they're actually Babylonian. Ishtar is Easter. Ishtar is the Babylonian goddess. Tammuz, Christmas, is what? Semiramis, back to Ishtar. Everything goes back to Ishtar. And that's her son. Now, how has it benefited me? Just being blessed with the information, that the Most High, I don't want to say I was chosen, but to be able to give this information and to stand before people and to actually give them the information, that's a blessing in its own. Now, I've had some, definitely some interesting things happen in my life now that I just had something really interesting happen with my laptop. I'm not even going to talk about that, but, I'm here, and and I'm here, and as long as I'm here, as long as I'm healthy, I'm going to share, and hopefully, I can get more, information out there and be more active because I'm not as active as I would like to be. So that comes from motivation. You know, as we always want to, you know, you see everybody with all the views, you see everybody with all the following, and you go like, well, gosh, why can't I get that? But like I said, when you talk, if I want that, you need to talk about what they're talking about, and I'm not going to talk about that because I'm here to share information that nobody wants to talk about this stuff because they know that this is not what people want to hear. You know, it's just people, oh, you know, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. Or can you talk about something else? Oh, yes. And actually, I got to postpone this one, actually. And thank you for showing me that. I got to postpone it. I'm actually going to be doing an Esau video. Hopefully, I can do that on Friday. And then I will do this Ashkenazi one. But yeah, that's going to be something. Like I said, that one there too. That one's going to get postponed, but I will be back live on Friday. I'm going to talk about Esau and that connection. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be talking about the Canaanites. So that's what I got planned coming up. Because this is important. You know, we've been all told everything is all, you know, that's what Babylon is. It's confusion. Everything is confused and it's done purposely. So, you know, we all gotta but like you said, how I've been doing great. Life is great. I can't ask for, I mean, of course, we always want to, you know, we always want more. Right. You can never have enough money. You can never have enough. Life has been great, though.
Well, thank you for your time. Honest to you and your family. Make sure y'all go and subscribe. I know, you know, Queen Naphtali will be back over here after the aftermath. Understand what I'm saying? Kind of give us a little update of what happens. And there was a subject that you spoke about in the presentation that I would love for you to come back and speak on. I'm trying to make sure I had it right. You were talking about Catholicism and as it relates to, what was it?
Evolution.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true. So. Catholicism they're actually the ones who backed evolution. A lot of people, believe it or not.
There we go. That's it right there.
Yeah, believe it or not, a lot of people who believe in Catholicism actually believe in evolution because it goes hand in hand. See, evolution is what is it? So evolution is backed by the Catholic Church. Okay. So if you guys really listen to Catholics, they'll tell you they don't even own a Bible. There's something called a Catholic Bible, and only the priests have the Bible. They don't even have a Bible that we have. And they say majority of Americans are Catholic. So majorities of Americans don't even know really what the Bible is. These so-called Christians, they don't really know. So pretty much they say, oh, well, I'm Catholic. I was born Catholic. But when you hear somebody says they're born Catholic, they don't know anything about the Bible because they don't even have one. And if they do, it's the Catholic Bible, which has nothing to do with the real Bible. Okay, it's completely. And I can get into, I can come back and I can talk more and show you, like I showed you guys today, how they are more evolutionists and how the Catholic Church is the ones that's behind evolution. And because the Catholic Church is Babylonian. I mean, and this isn't me. The Christians exposed this. I mean, you know, the white evangelicals, they are the ones that actually brought this to my attention. They expose it, you know, because they're the ones who are the Catholics.
If you've seen Stigmata, you already know. That whole movie was
man, guys.
And the links that they'll go to cover up something, to hide something, all of these things that's supposed to be real, all of these things. He's like, yeah, all right. So when you brought that up, I was like, wait, let me write that down and see, you know.
Yes, I actually found that. I found that researching Ham. Well, it's not even researching Ham, it's actually debunking the whole thing with the Zondervan Bible Pictorial Dictionary. A lot of people, unfortunately, some of the, the Israelites out there would use that and say, not the Negro. They like to say that. But they should know now. They still use it, and I can't say they don't know. So they do know, and they don't want to admit it, that the reason why they say not the Negro is because they called us the beast of the field. And the beast of the field is what they used to call us. They said that we weren't a son of Ham. At the beginning, we weren't a son of Ham, okay? We weren't a part of Noah. I'm sorry, not Ham. We weren't a part of Noah at all. Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth were all, Caucasian, were all white skinned, white people. And what they used to call us was the beast of the field. And that's why they put all those other people in there. And then you say, well, hold on, Naphtali, they had, African people in there. Well, at one point in time, Ethiopians, all those different groups of people were classified as Caucasians. And some of them still are. So they're all part of the Caucasian
Definitely,
race.
some of them still are, yes.
Yeah, so they're class, they're under,
all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were all under the umbrella of Caucasian, so they were part of the Hamitic family, the Hamitic branch, as well as part of Noah. But us as Negroes, we were always classified as human or the beast of the field. So what they did was to make things seem less racist. Okay, they elevated us to being the cursed son of Ham, which is Canaan. That's one of them. And then the other thing is that they brought in evolution, which means that we are the lesser evolved, or the lesser evolved of the evolutionary ranking system. So we're right behind it used to be Homo sapien, but then they took it and made it Homo sapien. It took away the Homo sapien, but they made it Homo sapien. You know how it is. So now, how does the Catholic Church get involved in that? Like I said, they ended up, either way it goes, they classified us as something, not a human. Okay, so that's pretty much what it's all about. And I have a book, and it's written in the 1900s, where he actually breaks all that down. And I was just reading it, and I was just like, whoa, okay, where did this come from? It's like, gosh. When you see stuff, and that's why people, want to be like an ostrich, stick their head in the sand and don't want to hear no evil, see no evil. You know what I'm saying? Just want to be like, I don't want to hear that, because it's like, it's so crazy. And it's like, but you have to know. You have to know, because to know the truth is to be made free. So, and it's okay. The reason why we are shunned the way that we are is because we are the true children of Israel. So that's why we were brought down low. So either way goes in science, they got us in science, and they got us in the Bible. But we know that even with all this hiding of the information, we were still able to find out our true identity. So so I can definitely talk about the Catholic Church and how they link with evolution. A lot of them who believe in evolution are Catholics. They call themselves theistic evolutionists. So they just say, oh, well, that's just how God did it. The evolution just explains how God did it. He did no, not my God. Now, the Babylonian God, yeah. They took apes and made them into humans, or whatever you want to classify it as. They did that. So that all goes into, like I said, Pan-Babylonianism and Anunnaki. All that stuff is with the Catholic Church. And like I said, that's a whole nother rabbit hole, and we can go down that. I just wanted to give you guys just a taste, because I want you guys to take some time out, review this video, and study. Study to show thyself approved. That's what the Bible says. And come on over to my channel. I did a couple of videos on the Babylonian Church. I did a video just recently on Japheth, talking about Japheth. Who is Japheth? The Sinites. Just like I said, just historical mixed with the biblical. All of it branches together just to be able to, everybody wants to know what's going on, and it doesn't hurt to know the truth. And a lot of people before me, like I said, worked very hard to give the information that I have to give to you guys. So you guys take that information and you share it with somebody else too, so that we all can have access to it. And then what you do with it, what they do with it. Now, we can't, like I said, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink, right? But yeah, I can go on and on, but I can save that for another day. We can come back here again. Check me out Saturday.
Yes.
Check me out Saturday on Something Nice with the Nanos channel. I will be debating about who are the biblical Canaanites, why it's important, and why you should care. Also, why does it matter? Why does it matter? That's what I get. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? You just don't like it. You don't like it. It's okay. That's okay. It matters to just because it doesn't matter to you doesn't mean it doesn't matter to somebody else. All right. So that's how I look at it. Yeah. Then don't watch. You don't need to watch. You stay asleep, but a lot of us want to wake up. A lot of us, it does matter to. I'm not an evolutionist. I don't believe in evolution, but guess what? I sat down hours and hours and read and studied it because I wanted to know, hey, what is this? And why, then when you start to realize, hey, this is a bunch of crap. People really believe this? People devote their time and their lives to this, studying this? No offense. No offense to your religion. But all right, that I can go on and on. But Knowledge Born again. Thank you so much, guys, for bringing me on. Shout out to Killah Priest, guys. If you haven't subscribed over here to the Killah Priest podcast, subscribe to Knowledge Born's channel, and also come on over to Naphtali's New School of Thought. I bring a new school of information. As always, I thank you all so much for tuning in, and Most High bless.
Most High bless to you, Queen. Honest to you and your family. Thank you for always coming through.
Thank you for inviting me on.
So shout out to Queen Naphtali. Shout out to the Iron Software Hip Hop, the one and only Killah Priest. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to the Patreon. The Patreon is heating up. There's a lot of things happening. Make sure y'all go to kppodcraft.com and y'all get ready for the Podcraft tomorrow. Shout out to AD. Shout out to the family over there in the building. And we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. All right? So make sure y'all go to kppodcraft.com. Song promotions. Send in your super chats. Get them in. And let's continue on rocking. Tell somebody to tell somebody about the Killah Priest Podcast. Let's continue to get the subscribers up, the numbers up. Check out the album, Swiftest Light. Snippets from the new album, Swiftest Light 2. More music. Wear more Killah Priest. Get you some merch. Play more Killah Priest. Get into the music. And drink you some tequila. Priest. You know what I'm saying? If y'all enjoyed the show tonight, let me get a 9 in the chat. Put a 9 in the chat if you enjoyed the show tonight with Queen Naphtali. Wonderful, masterful breakdown. Love every time she comes on. Beautiful. Shout out to the fam. We had Esoteric News with Jody Southworth. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to Jody Southworth's channel. Show us some love. You understand what I'm saying? Show us some cancer love. Shout out to Ty Phoenix, the cancers, Mitzi Hotep. Cancer. It's cancer season. Salute to the cancers out here being cancer us. You know what I'm saying? Code 17, her birthday's in a couple of days, you understand? Salute to Code 17, Celeste. All of the cancer conglomerate is thick. You understand what I'm saying? The cancer conglomerate is thick. So appreciate y'all tuning in and showing love tonight. Queen Naphtali always does an amazing job. All right? Always does an amazing job. You know, do your research, do your study, do the knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? Do the knowledge. And this is a safe space for creative minds and also creative artists. Like, this is a premier place for you to share your information, to share your talents, your skills, and capabilities. This is something that Killah Priest created with the creative people in mind from across the globe. Different perspectives, different mentalities, different places and spaces of art, purveyors of culture, purveyors of history, and purveyors of the future. So all of that conglomerate converges here on the podcast, you know, Thursdays and Sundays in this Royal Priesthood Wednesday segment, you know, to bring you something from the culture, someone of the culture, something creative, something artistic, something involved in them, something insightful. So continue to spread the word. Love reigns supreme over nearly everything. All right. So I'm going to be out of here, play a couple of joints before we bounce, but we out. Peace.
Owl Kemi, a priesthood tale, narrated by James Zeal Thrones. Now this tale is a dark one, for without darkness there could be no light. In the beginning, there was darkness. Our story begins with the Black Owl, spreading his shadow like a blanket across humanity to give the world what he considered to be a well-deserved nap. And this is his lullaby.
Hey yo, his feathers dance in the breeze while his wings in the air flex. His talons drop bombs on the kings in the square hex. 97 degrees in the shade of a fair's necks. He swooped in like walking down invisible stair steps. The scared force once a sign of ink on their prayer checks. If not a guys that ain't never blinking the stare test. Nobody's home but the security drone that sent the footage to his brother who was linked to the where yes. Searching for the priesthood, they searching for him. In a loop that kept repeating like the words in the hymn. Found his name in the rare text where angels compared bets. Or watching the affairs of men who bang over shared breath. Private meetings with the scam pikers overtaking thought. Shady deals on the periodic tablecloth. Angels lost seconds, broth drinking from their necks. Dark nights passing hell, passing nails with passing yell. Run the ounce, come and golden ring on their ass chest. Contain souls, chest hairs, split into your chest hairs. Take your heart, put it in this crystal over chest theirs. Those who played them disappeared, crippled over death stairs. Quickly covered chest squares like women with their breast bare. He never lost the spirit's ram, tripping over breath stairs. Giggles in the air left, talons blade the palisade, ripping through his spare vest. The physical is air dressed, but is he man of myth? Bullet singing, it's a fair test. Don't cut your arms off if you thinking a dead jest. It's still he thought circles while I'm thinking it their best. He's trying to live on, the light in his ribs gone. Avoided death when he got tired, he switched forms. From way back, he was never like all the kids born. Him and his twin brother enjoying the red summer, trying to catch butterflies and skipping the wind flutter. They call him exhale, and his brother was in the hell, both in prison in the rib cage and stuck in the skin jail. The struggle won't end well, stuck under a thin veil. His brother was invited, they rejected him most. Never felt he was inspired by the heavenly host. His twin was so infallible, he could do no wrong. He caught his victories, mistakes, never choose to belong. His best friend became his shadow, brother grew in the dawn. While he preferred the night, hurt by light, underneath the surface like Pollux cast the Abel Cain, Owl and the made him train 1,000 hours with his twin, whether it was sun or rain. Going through a sudden change and went in his own route. He heard the voices trapped inside the center of stone shout. Come over Sodom, remnants, saw crystals and bones drought. He even grabbed the gnosis from the sphinxes with no snout. He only saw life through the lens of his own doubt. The color things wicked, it kept him on the outside like submarine liquid shadows fogging up his brain. Another unforeseen visit in a sudden dream vivid, with a lion's raw move and the monkey's green ribbit. On a giant sunflower where the money bees pivot, flowing through the spirit hood where the thuggish trees kicking, fighting with the present, still kept his head to the sky as he walked through the darkness, making destiny cry.
Hoax kept his head to the sky, walking through the darkness. Hoax kept his head to the sky, walking through the darkness. No, no, they can't see him walking through the darkness. No, 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 they can't see him walking through the darkness.
Yo, the spirit in the body, it can never be killed. So the sound waves together in the melody quilt. Thoughts and data's mind tempers once the jealousy built. But still the Z of life flowers too healthy to will. Born 12 hours apart, only fate could explain the opposition of the night and day weight on his brain. The odd position of the sky array plainly explain of the polarized battle of the glow to strike shadow. Even broke the time shackles, who could fix the debris? His sand castles in his thoughts fall and drift in the sea. Flesh of weak and men struggle to resist the decree. As they lower self slipped them an invisible key with trick gnosis. He closed the eyelid of the tree in the center of the earth and caused eclipses to be. It's why I need his old strikes to guard the wicked should flee. He seems invisible, yet only those with wisdom can see. Underneath the shell, studying the energy chi. The dark forces in his chart made his enemies be, cause he felt the world order made it bend to his knee. While his brother was the light to put it into his spree. Once he left somewhere, the people thought ignorantly, cause their fear became power, he would grip as they plea. He thought about it every morning when he'd sip of his tea. Met a wizard who he paid to do his bidding to fee. He could have his brother's kingdom, everything that he owns, both inherit vast lands plus a place on the throne. One day they caught him in the desert far away from his home. Man, the owl damaged foul, he was sinking alone. Far back, right before they turned his wings into stone. Disappeared in whirling wind to escape as he roamed. When he came for his payment, he'd be naked in the deal. So we made him an owl too, magic ripped through his shell. He vowed the world's nightmares, they would live to be real. Since the wounds on his spirit never lifted the hill. Pulling back, every fruit has a different appeal. Found the night, Albert Pike and Shadow lived through him. Though they end up in the ground of light, crystals in the crown of light. Light from 1,000 missiles wasn't bringing down the night. These dark shadows, they would roll in his brain. Without day, he would rule and control the terrain. Could appear to be human, couple moments to change. When he ate the moonberries, he could hold it like frames for hours long. A sound of water dripping made him insane. He turned rivers in the desert lands where saying could rain. He stabbed him with a blade before the wizard in the shop ran. A magic hourglass, he making pieces of a mosque's plan. Dome tip from crescent time, crystal in the rock sand. Tom couldn't kill him with the pistol in the clock hands until his grain vanished, disappearing like the Olmecs. They made a statue for him in the wilderness of Molech. Another sacrifice, fresh meat on the stove. The Scan Pike's yearly feast at Bohemian Grove. Him and his brother separated at birth. His mother passed while giving birth to him. They blamed him at first that his brother was a gift, but he came as a curse. Abused by an artificial priest, raised by the church. Killed later by Killah priest. All the angels dispersed, sent away by his father. He ain't know what to do. They reconnected in their teens first and nobody knew. Until the pieces form a picture clearly nobody drew. They still brothers though they paths ain't remain together. Meet each year one day at the temple, play chess and train together. Still sharp and still before text and symbols came together. Like drums playing made his bed in the sky. As he walked through the darkness, making destiny cry.
Hoax kept his head to the sky, walking through the darkness. Hoax kept his head to the sky, walking through the darkness. No, no, on his road to the
As the Royal Priesthood went from one portal to another, seeking to vanquish the shadow, the dark owl walked into the darkness, becoming one with the void, in search of Now that, my friends, is a priesthood tale for another day.
Yes, yo, it all started on a silent night. Watching old footage tapes spinning back when beats of y'all skipping like a high delights. He trying to fight, he hiding like pillow rays. Why you trying to swing it while I'm trying to light this Indo haze? Kimbo blade, slice of an essential page of life, an instrumental stage. He'd overwrite to catch the ball game. He had the time to say, car crashing. Twisting dialect with magic, go to street from classy. When we laying upstairs, don't even ask me. You smirking car passing outside, the beat was nasty, but it's sweet like taffy. On the precipice of making up, felt a slight tremor. Had the edifice shaking up, accompanied by 3 loud bangs. Now they racing upstairs, unprepared to see if the baby's waking up to their surprises. And they're levitating his trucks while he floating in midair with arms placing the crux on this one side of his room where it was raining too much. His dark clouds hugged the ceiling. Thunder rolled from his soul, the sound was unappealing. They hit the ground, kneeling close enough to pick their jaw off the floor. Profound feeling, they both stopped, so amazed that to the left his toy train just dropped on the train tracks. Too shocked to explain that. If every Munson circle, he done ran about 8 laps. His soul was navigating his plane without a maze map. The air was spiral circle, his crown without a wave caps. He rose and tried to grab him real slow. You'll always stay back. It's when they heard her from outside. It's just a stray cat. He giggled, yawned, and everything fell. He just lay flat. Rolled his mother, sang him to sleep. I need a late snack. Wheels turning in his cranium too fast. Orange juice with pulp, he poured his Drake in a used glass. They hit up they booze stash. The liquor was too brass. He's really no drinker. Made exception for this. As she joined in the kitchen, had their heads in a twist. What's it mean? Cut the scene. We ain't ready for this. So they sat and watched the movie, ate a Mexican dish. As he reached and grabbed the phone that was next to his fist. Caught his main man Johnny. They still cool. His thoughts inside his brain ran. Finally ring. That's a native course. Wiping the tomato sauce from off his beard before his ear was hit with the grenade he tossed. Switching back to pacing forth, meditating, facing off, incense burning, made him cough and many questions pondered while he sits in the stool. Will he electrocute somebody if he swims in the pool? With his power, will he listen when we give him the rules? Should we send him to school? What's his energy fuel? It is what the master meant then about the beauty that he could bring to the world by Johnny yapping over needless things like using them for battery jumps. And no one needs a string retrieving rings from out of the drain below the ether spring for moving heavy things. You can charge a levitation fee. I regret calling you, he thought, but said okay, I see. Let him talk while he daydreaming about things that came to be. Prophetic vision series made to see that made him flee. Daughter, he was too afraid to open, hid away the key. But that brought him to a flashback. The room turned dim in every corner of it abstract. The night he got the glow, his senses heightened like a jam-packed city getting ransacked. Critters in the sand trap. Hourglass toasted on the roof above the land tap. Let the rhythm hit him if a villain wants the man's match golden glow. Folks below shifted who be glanced at, remain anonymous a few years until the plans hatched. Notoriety just appeared as camera scan fact developed into fiction. Blood edition made it stands cap for many who had seen the footage of the glowing man man rapped the legend lore. Few who ever saw it, people stand, clapped at everyone he met. He saw visions when his hands dapped. Random acts of heroism. Metal with the bad rats who mess with him and try to play heroin in his knapsack. Discovered it's the factory. And more than just the bad bats. Knew they throw a blow before they swing a ready jab back. Followed by agents claimed his energy was hazmat. Started hitting faster home, listening to jazz tracks. Head nodded like the bull be on the lamb's back. Miles Davis doing sit-ups to keep his abs flat. And every time he went and did a selfless deed, his selves agreed to elevate his level again. And he surpassed that. One night he heard a whispering sound. As he was levitating, felt his feet lift from the ground. While the spoken riddles, what exists if it isn't found, profound. Now think deep, did birth create you, reveal you? Heard his old master's voice explain the unrevealed clue that led him to a natal chart reading. That was real true. Much he started studying the angles of the wheel zoo. Looking for answers when his wife is getting real through and acting like she healed on the surface. It's surreal too. Walking through life with feet dragging, wearing steel shoes. Circuits of the years flew. Searching with no real clue to the stomach wobbling what's inside, emerging like the seal glue. The thunder cried their son arrived, the watery home birth. Shocked when they first touched him, dried him off and he glowed when he nursed. Their tongue was tiny, stunned their eyes, the oral be spoke first. Query his son tried for the rare, but what they didn't know. Across the world, another child was born with a different glow. Their lives ran parallel, with destined to cross paths. Back to his meditation as he stepped through the thought grass. His cherubims walked past while singing at the entrance to the heavens won't cause cash. Switching fast forward to the present time, he stepped in line on which the passport, and he tipsy off one sip he had and gripped the glass awkward. Glasses in the hand, not an A to see the baby three. Doing dishes, cue the missus who done let an angel free. She smirking while he working, trying to learn about the ABCs impatiently. Drew his first letter and he made it Z. If I plant seeds in his mind, one day they'd make a tree. Decided homeschool will be fine. They'll say he's ADD. She disagreed the way his eyes slighted. He was made to ski and sits it anyway. That created a split. And over time the gap widened more than they could admit. So in their mind they pondering if they should just quit. Ever since you started glowing gold, you think you the man. You sure as thought so when I saved you, put this ring on your hand. You ain't even have a brush, asking me for the moves. Finger painted things get layered as he reached for the fuse. To diffuse the situation while she reached for the booze. To replace the while I saved your life, who asked you to move? If you recall, I wanted a bodyguard, you passed to refuse. His ego bruised, her words hit harder than his own enough fist. If he could elevate his mental, she would show enough miss. First she cold, then she caring, he would know when she switched. Cause he could smell it on the breath. Did he notice the glitch? Then after this they both quiet as they fought with a stare. In an astral body battling the thoughts that they share. As he sets it off, a question slowly tossed in the air. As words became weapons, back and forth with a stare that wrapped eternity in moments way too often but rare. Mental exhibition battle right across in their chairs. They sat motionless and frozen like they lost in the prayer. So their thoughts could flow freely while they fought in the square. Astral body kung fu with punches tossed in the pair. While they dodged and she ain't stopping, he was more than prepared. Because adjustment, it was sorta impaired. He white lotus dip, he barely scratched his aura. He laughed, his wife noticed it, got angrier. Reached for the staff to strike below his bed. Holographic psychic weapons made while in the yoga split. Self-defense classes trained him well to defend. Backflipped and swept his leg, he jumped compelled to the bend. Roundhouse he missed on purpose as he fell in the spin. He smoothly took the staff from her, now was held to a chin. Kissed the forehead, held her hands and they grinned. A short tussle, an opportunity exercising the thought muscle. At first he tried methods to stop it and more subtle till he made some points sharp enough to pop the thought bubbles. Falling back to reality, he caught her, she screamed. Back and body, now they laughing like it all was a dream. With roots stemming from a problem way too small to be seen. From Bruce Z to Zeus B, stopped and reflects when Lil Z was on the ceiling with binocular specs, looking at his pop study astrological text. But stay tuned to the next chapter for what's following next. Superman origin, step into the Z, swimming the electric waves, Mecca Jubilee. From a young seed that is meant to be a tree, son of a dragon tail, the epic of a G. Superman origin, step into the Z, swimming the electric waves, Mecca Jubilee. From a young seed that is meant to be a tree, son of a dragon tail, the epic of a G.
Fatal blow. It's happening again. Run! Run!
CUT. That's a wrap on scene 42.
Cut. That's the one. I know you's about to pass that. I know the arguing was fake, but the headache is real.
Loving you, such strong words. The many Rippleton passed back into a songbird. She flew out her afro, platforms and long furs, soaring back down memory lane. Wintry rain, summer breeze, bumblebees, lumber trees, free range. Hedgehog, dead logs, wet frogs, sweat lodge. Less frogs and fresh moss, leaves change. She sings superb, herbs in a fleur. French word for flower, spring shower. Her wings scour with dream power. The Queen's Tower, her whole nature, a soul savior. Andrea Davis, you're so sacred, you're so persuasive. Please let us load aside your spaceship, even though invasive. I came inside your garden as carbon. You're from the same place as Carmen. The words that I write between margins, its focus is sharpened. Though I may have wrote it a Martian, I sampled your song for happy. It went together like saltfish and ackee. Sunday mornings, poor rich with daddy, reminded me of Miss November 22nd. The noble princes together, many plenty of blessings. Spring awakens everywhere, the day breaking, solar flares, icy winds, polar bears, night at the end, colder air, light comes in, snow appears, wildlife began, cobras near, the mice are scared, the spring sun, the green sprung, the kingdom, the queen sung, supreme lungs. Adventures in paradise, winters in marriage life. Picture an average wife from scripture, no matter type. Angels wishes they had her pipes. 5 octave, skyrocket, made us gas, shocking. Glad she popped it. 5.5 octave, catastrophic. Behold nature of Croatia, T from Oasia, Alpha and Omega. Build a house with no labor. Flowers to the creator. Water us, water us, water us, water us. Pour a cup, the floor is cut. Places in a pot of luck. Take your buck, you're out of stuff. Do the knowledge, but get your dollars up. I grab my pen with exotic touch. Erotica. I love honey and oatmeal with a lot of nuts, salad and garlic crush. My olives cut to please the palates in my gut. When she sang, I see terrains and floodplains, wild horses and mustangs, beavers and hogs in the mud plain. Nature is consistent and sustained. White-throated dipper, the kingfisher, all close to the river. Sava, from the UK to Nicaragua, lips to agua, or scout in the out. Find the natives whereabouts, get out or get scout. Oh, Andrea Davis, you're the greatest. You're my favorite on my playlist. You such a lonely girl. I wanna hold you, protect you from the world. Andrea Davis. La 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 la, made you famous. Stevie Wonder could see your hunger. Take a little trip, my secret lover. Are the even numbers? I don't believe in covers. I love originals. 45 in my living room. I was 4 or 5 when I listened to you. She gave me visuals. Joyous years of Roy Ayers. Meet Quincy Jones. If I ever lose this heaven in Minnie's tone, I'ma miss everybody. I'ma miss everybody. Busy bone, the honeycomb from the windy home.
Shook like they spotted a shark. When I came with my team with them choppers to spark, glass shatter, blast scatter, blow your chakras apart. Sounding like I got 100 helicopters in park. Riot gear, spot a tiger, freedom fighters I'm marked. womb door, kicking out the room before a ninja tetragram and hammer time. After pressing war trigger, I hit 7 more with him, holding blocks in the hearts. He tipsy like a drunk, they consume more liquor until he black out. That's a shine in the dark. Got quiet, one move, then I shoot more quicker. The nerve to say that it's all peace, there's no more war. Swept the rug from under their feet, broke floorboards. Now we Mona Lisa squealing the furnace versus paint. That it ain't, if it's real, I'ma burn it. Make you feel I'ma earn it on the wheel of the tourniquet. Body with my partner, but he turned to get over. I look, ain't my man, why you holding the book? Said he turned it in surface, and I know why he shook. That conjectures of the posium that both of us took. Welcome to Liberia, the city of peace. But you won't see no libraries out of Liberty's reach. No graffiti, don't come easy, no committee to cheat. It was just a father talking 5% in the streets. Since offender police set the pendulum east, it won't return it, but they say the violence ended the leak. Concrete statuettes, faces of stone, and gun carriers in all black. Made sure none of them broke characters, stuck in the known barriers. Everybody freeze, motion vaccine, make sure everybody leaves. Father giving speeches on the giant TVs. In a crime of debris, people line up agreed. No division, broken system, what's he hiding from me? Question evidence, the book was brought, he's lying, I see. Secret outings in the netherrealm, the side of the sea. Some abandoned church scared that he ain't trying to plead, but walking on the steep slope, he was trying to ski. To step slowly, should you tread on my dreams, they'll never go easy. Blew his head as he leans, couldn't believe he playing. I'm sitting there, focused to the books read. So I helped him, shot him through the books read with the toast and cooked bread. Now he know the lead spider in the broken red, blips flanking overhead watching. Working with the squares now boxed in. Blimps flying overhead into a new partner who watched me like I watched mine. Mental abuse, all my karma. Return to the rest like birds of the nest to see little men indoctrinated, learning oppressed. Father on the TV all the time, the word from the press. Lying on the bed, flashbacks return as I slept. Staring at my wife's retina, they broke in the spot. So I ran and broke their arms before they blow off the shot. Wipe into their black helmets, they don't notice or not. Don't shoot, we got a warrant for arresting your spouse. Now I'm looking back at her, pull the evidence out. Ran and kissed me, can't forget me, then she left as they shout. Look back to see the children watching left and without. Staring at the empty spot, she was sleeping when you wash up. I drop my dose, my Tyler approach like don't get locked up. What you doing? I'm sorry, replace and stock up. Back to kicking indoors and sense offenders. But this one was different, reminiscing to her. Flats back in the mirror, we forget who we were. Rotated in a circle, all of it is a blur. I smashed the walls into the hole and found music. Literature and contraband arson with the shooter, so I grabbed my partner's gun in midair before he blew it. Said we need a question and finding the source. When she got an interview, replaced inside of reports. Who your friends loose ends, said that Mary's a name. Extragram and toast Yahweh, I spake of the flames. If you give up your co-conspirators to soak in the flames, for you to put the broke reflection in an open exchange. That's when she grabbed my hand, asking me the meaning of life. I'm trying to be the coldest to her, all I see is my wife. As she said, with no feeling, you ain't seeing the light. Thousand gunfights, the master of the gun gotta fight your arm kung fu. The blast of the gun died, a killer zodiac. Circular math is hit geometry. Gramatine, cleric, the sheriff, trigonometry. Trigonometry, you blast from the past. Ballistic metaphysics, mathematical class. These are Taurus field bullets and they're traveling fast. Gunpowder made of phoenix dust, magical ash. It's trigonometry, a blast from the past. Ballistic metaphysics, mathematical class. These are Taurus field bullets and they're traveling fast. Gunpowder made of phoenix dust, magical ash. Yes, and my thoughts begin to question the ball. Doses in my hand dropped and heard the messages fall. Nightmares of my
burning, woke up sweating it all, with light shining through the windows, covered, ripped through the wall. Rainbow beneath the veil, over buildings and pause. Without love, breath is a clock ticking, we all wait for another rock skipping and drown inside the lake floor. As for the chains, and I started to feel, can't eject it, hand connected, now I start to conceal. My daily job is cold-blooded, made it harder to deal. Walking line like the sheep, like the mind of a shepherd. Move my glove, feeling the design and the texture, uniformity. I spiraled out of lines, the detector, clenching my teeth, rinse and repeat. But it holds Swiss cheese in every inch of my sweep. The compassion kept growing deep within my physique. Hard skipping the beat, hands bloody, never questioned it. Shot them as they exited, they lifting their feet. Found the stash, you a terrorist here if you could weep. Who cries tears that's invisible that drip in my sleep. And music from the record player from my hips to my feet. Apocalypse now, tower inside the snow globe like Mount Mabel, grayed out, burdened by his own load. Set it on fire, now it's burning, that's a hot record. Book in my pocket like my partner almost got lectured. Now I'm saving dogs from execution, we're all God's treasure. A partner looked at me, he knew I could feel. My eyes on the puppy, said you gon' shoot him for real. Saved him anyway. Now the father I spoke, said to kill on sight, I'm acting like I'm not as awoke. Eradicate the feelings daily as I met with the boss. Keep ignoring your emotions till the essence is lost. Tetragrammaton, 4 T's bearing the cross. That's attempt to save my wife through the woman I met. And the rest about the process of putting to death. Fell apart in many pieces, take a look at what's left, you knew this. Like to cover things we couldn't address, to ripping in the sky, stiffing things I couldn't suppress. Headed to the nethers like my partner before, to feel safe and safe feelings in the darkness he saw. Not a Mac in the back, but a puppy with a trunk beat. Think I'm call him lucky till they found me getting ugly. Rolling up with motorcycles like surrounding me, a Humvee. Asking for identity that's back in the trunk. And my jacket, that's a puppy Betty grabbing the pump. Look at what you made me do, left him splattered and slumped. I'm the #1 clever, you gon' die when I jump. Backflips on motorcycles, make them fly when I dump. Rule C, with a 1-inch shot that killed 6 of them. Connected both my guns in the teeth, there's no missing them. Astride Jesus, get them baptized, these blows christen them. Training with my partner, sword fights, we both whistling. In my ears whispering, I know what you did. Think I'll peel his cap back before he opens the lid. Yo, another raid in the nethers, bullets sprayed in the sweaters. Resistance ran up, I spun a spray like propellers. Fell for the sad faces they display, say can help us. I'm more hot than a billion degrees Celsius. Attempting hiding them, I knew it was right. But what you do in the darkness, what you do in the light. And when your team turn on you, when you shoot in the fight. Arm breaker, arch maker, punch the view of my sight. Slight interference, runners more came with the door. What I do but keep shooting, more rain than before. Hopes of breaking the pores, hopes of changing the score. I was spread a gun, but I spread a blade on the floor. No, unwittingly I let him right in the trap. Like an ATL rapper, let him right in the trap. Trigger happy soldiers Reagan, that's just dying to clap. Pass me his gun to blast him for fun. We couldn't do it, passed it back to when we laughed with no pun. As they concluded the assassination, half of them spun. As I computed like the wheels inside my cranium to add up the sum. Now I'm ready, Father, use me as an instrument tool to bring down the resistance, put an end to these fools. But aside of playing the death of war within me, that's cool. Sat with my old partner and made peace with my friend. In hindsight, you was right, I couldn't see it back then. Turns out he and Mary were a thing in the past. Said I killed him, tried to stab me, broke his swing cause I'm fast. Flipped her over, eyed of ISIS in the brink as I dashed and left her on the table pondering. Back to back wandering, my partner who I killed was a lover, now we bonded then. Into the class, emptied it fast. Yoke the teacher broke the deep and hidden rooms that I trashed. In the shadows spoke the leader, the resistance connects until I'm feeling he's revealing all that's hidden in depth. Even polygraph tested me with intricate specs. He said, you breathe deep when there's no one to see. Carry a ribbon in your pocket, who would notice but me? Emotion is a paradox without no control. It's pure chaos that can swallow you, so balance your stroll. Kill father, skill robber, no for snatching the soul. Now I'm back up with the surface dwellers, dip through the crowd. Bunch of makeshift drones walking, moving quick as I plowed. Knock them over, doing everything that isn't allowed. Hit the alleyway and back the way I'm catching my breath. Then the pigs and pigs said, getting here together we left. Then escorted to see father, took the heaviest steps. He spoken that the rumor has it, one of us that's elite. ceased the dose and started feeling. Hit the table, his speech was pure fire in his voice. He approached with a bop and started questioning the use of every moment I got. My efforts, I'm a double, quickly left in the hustle. Held hands with sense of fingers, fingers stretched to my knuckles. Now I'm playing both sides, deep inside the resistance. Sort of lies from a distance, check the tape when they fried. Kill my wife, so my faces, I watched and did nothing. Disgusting, to save this woman now, I sped rushing. Hoodie on the head, cup stood in front of the flames. Flashed my badge, running mad, hoping something to change. Slowly struck with the pain, that's the moment I snapped. Started crying on the steps, ain't no holding it back. Car pressed and looked up, one shot at my head pressed in. Arresting officer, my own partner, what kind of mess I'm in. Paraded around and laid to the ground. Do the math, he ceased the dose, look at this traitor I found. He's seeing ghosts and feel the most, and now I'm legging him down. And through father's doors, the drama portions come for the crown. Accusing me, what do we see when it's his gun that they found? I switched it when he did notice, now he's numb with a frown. Took his magnum as they dragged him, now they coming around. And searched my premises, extended wrist, I jet to the spot. But my stats behind the mirror wasn't in it, I'm shocked. My son behind me had him eye me by the interest unlocked. Said he pretended to be drugged to, here's the end of the plot. Numb to the pain and hurts without feeling. Giants in the box, a world without ceilings. Life with no emotions, alive without pleasure. That's death without knowing, alive without measure. Numb to the pain and hurts without feeling. Giants in the box, a world without ceilings. Life with no emotions, alive with no pleasure. The breath is now glowing, let's rise now forever. Put an end to this once and for all. Boss of the resistance is yours. Come and get them prison bus, they doing it for the cause. They introduced me to the father, freshly did for applause. And all white, alright, they requested my sword. When I'm pondering the way they plan to test me was flawed. One part of they arrested, resurrected for more. Like a lonely chess piece to reach the end of the board. Father speaking on the screen was like an onion to peel. To infiltrate the underground, we needed someone to feel. Who didn't know it yet, heroic kiss another reveal. We never met the father's voice, became the one that was real. His father faded to oblivion, I'm clutching my steel. My emotion off the chart, next to totally still. Gun slipping from my sleeve, the spirit told me to kill. Gun caught a Zodiac, it seems totally ill. Watch me blow up the grill, said I'm coming and came. Orgasm, gun barrel, spun and struck him with flame. I ain't up for the games, no one's touching my aim. Flipped and struck him again, lava pumps in my vein. As I cleared the hall, hear him fall and bust through the lane. Quarterback machine gunner, undiscovered terrain. Door open, father's chamber on that luxury plane. Soldier circle me, emergency, me punish the pain. Sword style is more balance, company cut up and slain. Then my partner came against me, quick cut to the chase. Boy, he knew my blade was down and ready, cut off his face. When the silence, father's voice is nothing but a disgrace. Who will fear but slaughters others who were touching and grace. Hammer style, wing gun, black multiple shots. The blew his chest across the room like it's nothing. He dropped and shot a hole through his face, talking up in the box. Now it's raised in the city, bullets blazing, with me. Explosions everywhere, time for change, so I'm giving emotions back, pleasure and pain, the next millennium. Anyone posed in the light will seek oblivion. Free minds to balance the scales is equilibrium. Yeah, the first dragon here to balance the scales. It is equilibrium, many battle and fail. God is real, gotta feel on this paths we sail. Know the ledge, know the head, gotta match with his tail. The first dragon here to balance the scales. It is equilibrium, many battle and fail. God is real, gotta feel on this paths we sail. Touch the ram with time bombs, so we have to prevail.
belongs to those who have free minds. Those who can see behind the veil of illusion, know the truth, and can stand on it.
My pro-black, really pro-black, anti-hip-hop dress code. That's no cap, no vax. My white cells assassinate any kind of virus, get chewed up, masticate. My immunity's indestructible. I'm a pillar of my community, no deductible. General Tucson leading the revolution. To black problems, we are the only fucking solution. No outsiders, no white saviors, we gatekeeping. I keep trying to wake them up cause they stay sleeping. Chooks is armed with ancestral wisdom, so I don't trust people that still trust the system. We gotta eat like Sebi, fight like Ali, think like Malcolm, migrate to Merca, Somali. I carry my own water, so I value every drop of it. Drowning at the bottom, so I swim up to the top of it.
If I say it, then I mean it. I'm never backing down. Only a few real ones left now. If it's truth, then I'ma stand on it. If it's justice, then I'ma stand on it. If I say it, then I mean it. I'll never take it back. And if you ever hear me say it, then it's facts. That's my word, and I'ma stand on it. What you heard, I'ma stand on it. Yeah. What happened to principles, character, fortitude? Healing through alchemy, magic is what I'm born to do. Time to purge the planet from human toxicity. People do any and everything for publicity. It's way out of control, destructive, they weak and careless. We either stand for what is right or else the people perish. Putting these devils in a panic, now we got them frantic. The righteousness of justice is poetic, Pac and Janet. You don't know lies from truth when you wearing blinders. Wisdom separates the strong people from the spineless. They tell me to kill them with kindness, be considerate, but everybody's capping out here, nothing's legitimate. Nobody surrounded us everywhere, but the souls is missing. The enemy is always watching and the ops is listening. No wonder most of these people feeling defeated. The language of God is encoded and they can't read it. If I say it, then I mean it. I'm never backing down. Only a few real ones left now. If it's truth, then I'ma stand on it. If it's justice, then I'ma stand on it. If I say it, then I mean it. I'll never take it back. And if you ever hear me say it, then it's facts. That's my word, and I'ma stand on it. That's what you heard, I'ma stand on it. Rusty Chucks, Ty Phoenix, yeah. Yeah, welcome to the A of A, but it's the remix. Now what you got to say? Remix.
Shooks.
Vibration going up, so get out the way.
Welcome to the A of A. This is when Jupiter aligns with Mars, when the moon is in the 7th house. As this Aquarius combines bars, these heavy punchlines hit you in your mouth. Then I say welcome to the A of A, where information comes free, still you gotta pay for living expenses, food, artillery. A black Adonis fighting harder than the Creed trilogy. I'm leading my fam as the breadwinner, the spirit guider, the protector, head spinner, dead sinner. I'm in the middle of the mayhem, not for games, don't you ever try to play him. Official air sign, I'm a rare find, 100 reps hitting every step on the stair climb. Everybody welcome to the A of A, intellects ducked down when my mind spray. Everything is changing on the world stage, we here now, it's the Aquarius age.
Everybody welcome to the A of A. Everybody can't go and it can't stay.
Third eye pump, so what a hater say. I left y'all clean cut like razor blades. Yeah, I'm a psychic, 12 houses ignited. Moon and Scorpio hook the bait, then watch you bite it. Yo, I glow like the moon, my tongue a silver spoon, igniting angles of light while sipping Lotus Bloom. Age of Aquarius, smooth like Sagittarius. Came out the underground, you would think my name was Harriet. Yo, whoever thought I'd have 500,000 followers? That's what you get when you rock with black astrologers. So ain't no stopping me, I guess I'm an anomaly. I had to tell it honestly, I'm probably born a prodigy. I walk with no apologies, age filter alchemy. You hated me, a job blessed, but fell in love with Mama T.
Ordinary life can hold extraordinary potential. You gotta feel it to believe it, that's the vice I'm into. I like my poison organic, baby, the price is mental. I don't make the rules, but I read them all cause I like to bend them. They try to shame me for my source, anniversary wrongfully. Now they stuck in lower dimensions, wishing they crossed with me. Bitches out your mind, they ask when they talk with me. Cause how the fuck you think I'm alive when there's war coming? The veil's lifted, the light revealing dark corners. What was once a conspiracy seem like harsh warnings. Vaccinating the population that mark on. Experiment on the people and bring the martial law in. Politicians in Hollywood do the trafficking, but higher frequencies are united now and we after them. Everybody welcome to the A of A. If you can't move forward, just get out the way. Everything is changing on the world stage. We here now, it's the Aquarius age.
Everybody welcome to the A of A. Everybody can't go and they can't stay. Banging this knowledge on your mental like Jesus and Buddha. The force of Kali Yuga with the grace of Queen Afua. Aiming my bars with precision like 100 shooters. I'm the yang and yang, perfect blend of the soul of the Luna. I see 11, 11 sevens, triple four, triple twos. My angels always ready for war. I see that 888. Now my power's restored. Watching ninjas fall on their sword. Now they gotta applaud. Age of Aquarius, my water bearers make it happen. Your karma's on the line, ringing like the planet Saturn. Generational curses broken, we shift the pattern. You stupid if you think I came out of the rib of Adam. I'm the primordial water flow in the dark fluid. And when you see that open portal, better walk through it. Everybody, welcome to the A of A. Welcome to the A of A. Welcome to the A of A. Everybody can't go and they can't stay.
I can't hear you for some reason. I can't hear you. You can hear me or what? You can hear me now? How can I hear? These headphones went off. These big. I got the airplane headphones. I don't even know if they went off. Give me a sec. Hold up. Yeah, hold on. I just can't. For some reason, I can't hear it. Hold on. Let me see. Probably can hear now. You can hear me? What about now? Say something. What's going on?
My check 1 2 1 2
Am I
1
on
2.
mute?
Can you hear me?
I hear you a little bit.
I ain't soft.
Yo.
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yo.
Yo.
Yo. Yeah, I turned off my Bluetooth. I turned off my headphones and coming in real low for some reason. Yo.
Say something to the people. The people have been waiting for you.
Yo, what up? What happened to Naphtali?
She dropped them jewels and she rose. She dropped them jewels on us.
You coming in real low, yo. You're in the show. I got these new headphones. I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Hear you good.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, because I can't hear you. Now I was born. You sound real tiny. Like it's like I hear you through a like the headphones. Like if the headphones were put somewhere. Let me see.
Yeah, I had it. I seen Killer Priest. He's in the building. You understand what I'm saying? On the move, like always, making something happen. Word, so we'll see y'all tomorrow. But we'll see y'all here next week on Royal Priesthood Wednesdays. Excuse me. Peace.